In case everybody is not up to date, CZ and SBF have been going back and forth on the timeline. Definitely, it's being reported on mainstream media. Yeah, like Sam is so petty. It's not even funny. Like, why is he bringing up like you won? Like this was a competition. Like nobody won here. It's just ridiculous that he would even say that. Um, but yeah, we'll definitely get into that. I did yeah, we are supposed to have super spaces here in a little bit. I got to remind them and make sure they're going to show up. They have a new spaces tool. I know there's a lot of like spaces hosts and participants here. So how that's going to improve using their tool. So we'll talk about that. And by the way, Dow, I really love your spaces on Wednesday. Your DeFi, what is it called? DeFi farm or, but I really
Farmers
like
market.
Farmers Market, yeah, and really cool name too. It's just good to like see spaces that are focused on like people that are building in this space and the actual, DeFi part of it, which is why we're all here. So I really enjoyed that conversation. I feel like I was sick of SBF talk for a
Yeah,
while.
thanks, man. I learned a lot, man. We get a lot of like Giga brains and all the big nerds doing some really complex thing, and we try to make it accessible. And they actually go back and forth. It's not like a kumbaya where they get along and just agree on everything. They actually go at it, so it's quite fun.
I agree. Your spaces are amazing. And, I like and I appreciate going into spaces where people are spreading knowledge and you're actually learning something from the space. So much appreciated. And if you haven't checked it out, check out Dow's Twitter spaces each week. They're awesome. And Jess, by the way, Jess has some exciting news if she wants to share it with everybody. And
Really
just in case not
didn't.
everybody, huh?
I really didn't, but let's see. And Super Spaces is here, so we'll get started. Yeah, I'm going to give up on the technical difficulties. I'll get back to that in a little bit and focus on what's going on here. But yeah, everybody, welcome to another episode of Crypto and Coffee. Just a friendly reminder: nothing said here is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Yeah. And I just want to thank everybody for coming once again. We are going to start off with our guest super spaces if they want to come up first, and then we'll get into the crypto talk. But yeah, so what Tammy's talking about, so I was able to get an affiliate marketing partnership with Binance US, and that's what she's talking about. I really don't like talking about myself, but as you guys know, I talk about Binance all the time anyways, so it just made sense and it was a good fit. Um, Still doesn't change my ideology about exchanges. Exchanges should be just to exchange crypto. That's why they're called an exchange. You should not be hodling your crypto on an exchange, not your keys, not your crypto. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. And a lot of people don't even know that Binance US is like a thing. Like it's available in about 46 states. Of course, it's not available in New York. And they offer free Bitcoin trading, and they just added Ethereum free Ethereum trading, spot trading only. So if you deposit $100, you're getting $100 of Bitcoin, no fucking fees. So don't sleep on it. I know I've been yapping about it forever, but they got a lot of cool things coming up, and you can't beat no fees.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but I wanted to say congratulations and I'm so proud of you. I was so excited for Jess yesterday. Seriously, I told her my face hurt from smiling. So I'm just so proud. So sorry to make you talk about yourself,
No,
but you
no,
deserve
I
it.
know.
You
It's
deserve
just a
it.
bad thing. But I appreciate the support from you guys. And like I said, nothing's going to change. I talk about Binance all the time, anyways. So it has been my exchange of choice for a while. And it was always because the fees were cheaper. And now there's like, that was when they had fees and it was cheap. And now they don't have fees for two of the cryptos that I buy the most. So aside from that, they also added you can buy with Apple Pay, ACH. Of course, do your own research. This is the fully KYC'd exchange, so don't think you're going to be try to get like be anon or anything like that. But yeah, check it out. The post is on the top if you're interested. And yeah, thank you, Tammy. I really appreciate it.
Congrats. You deserve it. All your hard work. But I think David's going to come after you because you mentioned there's only 46 states that accept it. So all the New Yorkers are going to be coming after you, Jess. Just be ready for that.
Yeah, they just added Louisiana, and in the article that they were announcing that they did, say that they're still working to make it accessible across all states and territories. So a couple more to go. Unfortunately, New York sucks. So what can we do about it? But yeah, what's up, Enrique? Good morning.
Hi, yes, how are you? How are you, Tammy? Dow, jumping in just for a couple minutes just to say that love you and you're doing an amazing job, you, Tammy, and all the positivity that you have brought to this space in moments that were needed. I usually don't jump into to speak, but I wanted to say that because that we recognize ourselves now that the ones that stayed, and they keep being positive every day, and that want to keep building. So keep crushing it, Jess. Keep crushing it, Tammy. We're with you guys, and hello to everyone that is around, Nancy, Monty, Stefano, James, Terrell, Father, all the people that I know. Love you guys and have a great December and well, yeah, some coffee for you, yes.
Good morning,
Thank
my
you.
friend. Yeah,
Thank
you are
you.
seriously the sweetest. All your posts, even when you say good morning, seriously, they just make me smile every time. So we appreciate your positivity too. And thanks for the love. We love you back.
Totally agree with that. But yeah, I'm just letting a couple other people up. I do see that we have our guest here, which we're going to talk to for a little bit for all you creators or spaces junkies, which is basically everybody in crypto and NFT Twitter that has become, spaces addicts. But yeah, before what's up, Super Spaces? Who do we have behind the main account? And then I'll say hi to Brooke really quick.
What's up, Jess? GM, everyone. This is Fred here on the account. So nice to be here. Love the title, Crypto and Coffee. Love the vibe of the room. Just an open question. How do you guys like your coffee?
Espresso with some almond milk is what I drink.
Colombian and black. No cream, no
Oh,
sugar.
that's my vibe. That's exactly my vibe. Yeah, I'm based in Brazil right now in Rio. It's sunny and the coffee is always black and strong. So that's how I like mine too. That's awesome.
I have
Nice.
coffee with my creamer, y'all. Just saying.
You and me both.
What's up, Brooke? Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good
I woke up
morning.
early for you. I'm just kidding. I had to get up
Good morning.
anyway.
Aw. No, glad to have you here as well.
So good to see you. Congrats on the Binance situation. You are so deserved.
Thank you. I'm excited to continue doing exactly what I always do, which is just talk about Binance
Exactly.
and shit on Coinbase all the time.
You're like
Which,
this.
by the
This
way,
changes nothing. This changes
exactly,
nothing.
nothing changes. So, yeah, so nothing changes. But yeah, it's good to have you guys here. We'll definitely get into all the crypto stuff, but we have SuperSpaces here, which is a new tool that's coming out for content creators, which I know like 80% of you guys here are. So do you want to give us a little bit of what it is that you guys are launching SuperSpaces and maybe how it can help some of us here in the community?
100%, Jess. And I did want to congratulate you. You are on rank number 162 of our leaderboard. So if y'all go to superspaces.ai and you type in Jess in the search bar, you will see that for this month, she hosted a few spaces with an average score of zero point 0.5, which is actually super high. So that's really good.
Nice. I don't
And
do too many spaces like some people that do spaces every day, but that's cool. That's cool.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think like the top 20 or even top 50, they're like really full-time spaces people. And that just goes to show how powerful the medium is for creators, right? And this was really something that we noticed, Jess, when like we're really degenerates at heart. Like the whole team is docs. We've been in Web3 for, well, myself for a good year, the others for way longer. And we just saw this NFT thing and thought for a second, wait a minute, it's way more fun than shitcoins because it has JPEGs, and the community and culture building is just on steroids. And so we really had to get into this, and we started on Solana. I'm not sure if most people give a thumbs up if you guys are like multi-chain, or give a thumbs down if you're like ETH maxi. Okay,
Dow, you got to
people.
give a thumbs down.
I mean, you say multi. I mean, I assume you meant layer twos, right? That counts.
Oh, for sure. Anything that looks at like the future being interoperable and chain agnostic, that's kind of our belief set. And so anyhow, we had to start somewhere, and we wanted to launch an NFT collection on Solana, and we actually never ended up launching the NFT collection because it was just so tough, but we did spend like 40 plus hours a week in spaces and made a lot of friends. And we have like a web 2 growth marketing background, and so we really believe in the power of experiments. And so when it comes to audience building, whether it's your personal brand or your professional brand, you really want to do experiment as much as you can and aim higher, right? And so we wanted to aim for higher audience sizes, but then in the end, we noticed whenever we pressed end the space, all we got was just like the cumulative listener count and maybe the duration, couple speakers, and that's it. And so we really thought that Twitter data was a black box that really didn't help us with this experimentation. And so what we're doing now is we're actually bringing the first Web3 intelligence tool to market to really make you smart about the audience and the engagement that you have in this channel. So that's what we do.
Cool. So, quick question. Now that I'm curious, who is number one? Let me see if I can jump on here. Who is number one? Is it who's number one on the leaderboard?
So I have to give a caveat here. Number one right now is Bark. We're in beta. This means that we're far from being like fully data complete on everything. But for Ethereum, it's pretty good. The reason why Mario is not number one is I'm not sure if he would count towards Ethereum at the moment. He's really grown past that, in my opinion. And there's also some inorganic stuff that we spotted in the nature of his spaces where it like
That
wouldn't
was
be
my
fair.
question, is like, how are you guys,
Yeah.
because I love data, like how are you guys dealing with the bots? Because there's some spaces that like I have like internal knowledge of some of these that like are basically all bots. So how does that factor in?
Yeah, at the moment, we just decided to kind of pause that because that requires some data science and some more research on it. And we really want to help people to at least flag botted spaces so that they know what they're getting themselves into. At the moment, we actually launched a challenge connected to the leaderboard. And so if you will end up ranking number one, like Bark is at the moment, by next Thursday, then you'll actually win a audio creator setup by Rodecaster Pro for that number one spot. And so we wanted to make it really fair, and so that's why we just excluded botted spaces at the moment whenever we see one, and that's how we deal with it at the moment. And later on down the roadmap, we'll just be able to flag things like anomalies. If there's maybe hundreds or thousands of new listeners coming in within 1 or 2 seconds, that's probably not organic, and so we at least want to flag that. Or in the same token, if we can, like on our platform, you'll be able to export audience so that you can actually work with Google Sheets. I'm a big kind of like automation fan, and also I just love playing around with sheets and numbers. And so we really wanted to make that integration. And then you'll be able to really see, okay, who are these followers, and do they have 0 followers, or are they legit accounts?
So I have more questions. So how are you aggregating that data? Like, do you have a set of like programmers that are looking at each of these things? Like, where's the code coming from that aggregates this like data set?
Yeah, for sure. So we're with 6 at the moment. Our HQ is based in Portugal, and we have 2 devs on board. They're wizards. We love them, and they're really excited because next to tapping into the Twitter API, so Twitter actually wants you to have a lot of data surrounding spaces so that we can build on top of it. And then the second thing is there's a real-time stream of data that we can tap into. So if you think, for instance, that you log into your desktop and you see the transcript lines coming by, we managed to find a way to tap into that and also get the reactions with it and get just some more general real-time data so that, it ends up being a proprietary bot system that we developed and that we can enable for you guys.
I have a question. I was going to write it. So, aside from being able to track data analytics, I hope you say yes to this. Will we be able to download recorded files of our spaces in an easy manner?
Yes.
Woohoo! And okay, this is my second question. Will there be a cost to that?
Right, that's a really good one. So, what we're currently doing is we're really releasing the leaderboard for free. We're just big believers in making this data accessible to as many people as possible. And so, this is going to be a freemium SaaS model. And so, there's a basic plan that's free forever, and you can check it out soon enough. And for the ones that really want to get deeper and richer insights, maybe the ones that host spaces every day or that are really full time in this, they can just sign up for the pro tier.
And it sounds like you could also get transcripts of the spaces. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So, what we really like is the fact that it will kind of open up this post space engagement, and I think social audio is an amazing technology and medium that we're just discovering and getting our feet wet with. But unfortunately, on Twitter, let's say if I want to get to know Jess and the creations that she has on social audio, I cannot look at your profile and I cannot see a history of your spaces, right? And that's a little bit of a limit for an audio creator. And so you'll have your user profile page where you can really check out, okay, what is my work maybe from August or from last year, because Twitter deletes it after 30 days, right? So we're going to be able to give you that archive, get people to get acquainted with your work, and you'll definitely be able to download and share transcripts so that you can do some more deeper dives into content after a space.
That's awesome. Sorry, I have one more question. So right now you're focused on NFTs, which that's like one of the categories in spaces, right? Do you plan to branch out to other categories, like maybe ranking the cryptocurrency categories or business and finance and things like that?
Yeah, I love that question. And we have big ambitions. We do not want to be confined to, let's say, NFTs or even Web3 only. However, that's where we really started and where we feel at home. And when it comes to going to market with something, you want to start with where you just know the environment best. And so we think that we can serve the NFT crowd the best way because we are, degens at heart. And once we really get over that, I think, maybe Q2 next year, we can really branch out. And the leaderboards, as you see them right now, they're Solana and Ethereum focused with a lot of NFT people. Soon enough, we really want to just have an all categories leaderboard where it's Web3, and then you'll be able to filter for whatever you like.
And real quick, maybe I missed out, but how do you know, for example, that maybe a host is focused on Web3 versus NFT versus maybe DeFi, or is it based on who is participating in the space, or because in your name there's AI, is there a way for you to actually listen to the content and somehow extract, like maybe like the topics?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a lot of it can come from Twitter itself, right? I mean, if Jess now names her space crypto and coffee, she'll have to give in certain tags like cryptocurrencies and NFTs, and so that definitely helps us filter. And a lot of people just use hashtags as well. Then there's the data that we can get crowdsourced, right? So at the moment there is a function on the leaderboard. If you scroll down and if you want to submit your favorite hosts, then we can make sure we add them, and then you kind of give up the chain that's preferred. And then when it comes to scaling, definitely the AI component will be very important, whereby we'll just be able to do things like sentiment checks, and we'll just be able to, accurately place things. We still have to see whether we're going to enable the AI to recognize profile pictures and then divide people to chains according to that, like NFT Inspect does, because we actually got some feedback from the community that they didn't even like that, and they wanted to really have more of an all Web3 focus. So that's where we're at right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it looks like you guys are having a challenge. I told you that I didn't want to participate because I don't do that many spaces. Like, I know people on here that do spaces every single day. So if you do that, make sure to sign up. They got a bunch of prizes and win some free stuff. And what about like tracking how much you participate in spaces, or is this more for just on the creator side? So as a participant, is there any tracking that can be done? Or could I track like who's the top participant in my spaces? Maybe somebody wants to reward like their top participants or things like that.
I love the way you're thinking. Yeah, this is exactly in line with how we think. So obviously, we start with creators and hosts because those are the ones that need the help most, right? We do think the platform in itself already will be useful for speakers and listeners too. So you will definitely be able to have a backlog or a history log of where you went to listen in, where you went in to speak. And likewise, as a creator, you'll be able to identify your top fans, like your true fans, right? Like one of the things when we launched the NFT collection that bothered us was we didn't really know the repeat listeners or the ones that really came in, and also for how long they listened in for. And so, yeah, that's definitely something that you'll have on the platform from the get-go, so that you can maybe tip them, or vice versa. The true fans can enable you in a Patreon style model. So those are really interesting models that we think will take off soon enough. And then, yeah, what else did I want to say? I think I answered your question, Jess. But if you got any more, shoot my way.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. What's up, ETZ? Good morning.
Yo, what's up, Jays? What's up, everyone on the space? What's up? SuperSpaces? Let's fucking go, bro, you know. Yo, this is my first time on the space. Crypto and coffee. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, yo, I've been in contact with SuperSpace before, but you know, I'm not a consistent motherfucker. So that's why I've not put my name with them, bro. But it's dub, you know. I just love what they do, you know. Just like innovative stuff, like you know, the first of its kind, you know, just came up and helping curate the consistency of how people host spaces, and that's pretty cool. So what's up? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, everyone. What's up? This is my first time on your space, Jays. What's up? What do you do, bro? What's going on here?
Did
James.
you just bro Jess? It's
I caught that. I'm like, is
Oh,
he
He
sorry,
not
definitely
sorry,
did.
you
He
metaphor?
motherfuckers.
definitely did.
We're sorry. I'm very sorry for that. I apologize. You know, we are agents. We are agents, motherfuckers. We found buybacks. No, sorry. I'm an NFT. You know, I love NFT so much. So no, in NFT, we are agents. We are degenerates. We are charts, bro. We are charts. Everyone is the chart, bro. So
I'm gonna
I'm very
say, like,
sorry.
I actually been calling my girlfriends, bro. I'm down with that actually. Like, it's actually fun to be like, bruh, like. So I'm down with it totally.
I also totally think it's gender neutralized by now, and at least through the crypto space. So all for that. And it's what I see is actually you speak in a lot of spaces, right? And so one thing that I wanted to share with all of you guys, if you think, oh, I'm not hosting, how can super spaces be valuable to me? We really believe in bounties and making people have more fun with spaces. And what's more fun than to earn a little bit of a bag when speaking or listen to space? And so we launched a bounty called the Super Speaker and the Super Listener. So by Thursday, we'll actually reward the first 3 spots of the ones that listened in most different spaces, or the ones that spoke on most different spaces, because we'll have the data on that. And actually, I see the super speaker from the last Solana challenge up in the audience. Dub, shout out to Dub. He spoke in
Dub, of
63
course,
spaces.
Dub did it. He's like on 23 hours of coffee, so he has enough energy to speak in so many
He doesn't
spaces.
sleep.
Congrats, Dub. Oh, that's cool shit. That's cool shit. This is what caffeine can do for you guys, friends. It can make you a top leaderboard spaces speaker. So I hope everybody's enjoying their coffee this morning.
No, I'm
Super
not.
quick,
I'm
I
not.
actually had a question about the leaderboards for Super
All right.
Spaces. I just hopped on your website. I'm so sorry if this has already been answered. I hopped in this space a little bit late today. Good morning, guys. Morning, Jess.
Good morning, Kassan.
Um, I was wondering. So I see it's fascinating that you have these broken up by different blockchains, and I was wondering how. What does someone do when they're blockchain agnostic themselves? So, like, I talk in multiple different chains. Where would I fall within your leaderboard? Would I go on multiple pages? How does that work?
Yeah, no, this is a super fair point. And we're basically just doing this for our go to market for this month. I think by the end of the month, it's going to be a Web3 kind of like all categories leaderboard, and you would fit into that. And right now, you just kind of have to, if you want to get on it still until then, you can happily submit your handle in there and we'll approve you for either one. Usually, I guess ETH works as well for you if you're agnostic.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. All right. Yeah, I already sent mine in. Thank you so much. And super cool what you're building, man. I love seeing advancement to spaces. I have a ton of ideas if you're interested.
For sure. One of the most favorite things of mine to do is just like listening to people's feedback and the crazy ideas they come up with. And so we already had people reach out to us and be like, yo, we want to maybe do like a fantasy football league with this, or like, how can we, do kind of like an esports for creators? And we're like, well, more power to you if you want to do that. We just really, our core competence is providing the data rails for creators to really know who their true fans are and to know how to level up their game, right? Because again, if you have an account that spends 20, 30, 40 hours a week on spaces, you want to just be a little bit smarter about how you go about things.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like it. I like it. I know there's like, I wouldn't say it's a competitor, but the other tool is the Spaces dashboard. But when I look at yours, it looks much better, much nicer UI, and it looks like more functionality. So yeah, I think also allowing, even if it's at a paid price, to be able to download Spaces, like it's always a mission. I have a workaround, which is like what I was struggling with before the show. So to just have somewhere that I could go, click a button, and not have to and download it, it makes it so much easier. Because, like you said, I do like to reuse some of that content in other platforms. But what's up, Terrible? And then we'll circle back to ETZ.
GM, yeah, I was just wondering if there's any way to like track metrics of like when somebody's on the speaker panel, the listener count, if it falls or drops. Would that be too dev heavy? But I could see like labeling certain people as like bad speakers or ones that have negative effect on spaces, and that way spaces hosts can avoid those people, even if that's to my own detriment.
Wow. How would you gauge that, though?
Or blocked people. Like if somebody has somebody else blocked, like how does that, interact with? Because I know the API can actually pull that, but how does that, like interact with what's going on stage?
We'll get to both. So Terrible, love the way you're thinking. I think exactly the same way, right? Like as a host myself, I host every weekday. I think sometimes you just have people who, my kind of finger just goes towards the mute button, and I just wait for them to just show themselves a little bit longer so I can mute them and maybe boot them. Because you want to have people that just drive the conversation forward and that know how to read a room and that just speak sense, right? And so what we are doing right now is we'll give you the engagement over time, whereby you can really see, okay, at this moment in time with the transcript, what was said that led to a spike up or that led to a fall, right? And so I use this every day to really optimize. And in some point in the future, maybe Q1, we definitely want to have that as granularly as identifying single speakers that brought in more people, right? So just this Monday I was hosting, and then we were at 40 concurrent listeners, and then Frank it came up to speak, and then it went up to, I don't know, 240, right? And then when he left again, it went back down to 150 or something. So you have things like the Frank effect that you can identify more granularly. And Brooke, about blocking, interesting one. Like I've never thought of that because I don't really block people. I'm really kind of a free speech maximum.
Yeah, same.
People haven't pissed me off enough, but maybe that's going to come, and maybe there's something we can do with our data. And Jess, about Spaces dashboard, we don't see them as a competitor. We actually love them. They really kind of with their data, they helped pave the ground for us to, really also step up. So yeah, we definitely love them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you guys should definitely work together. But yeah, definitely like your UI much better. I do hope that you expand to other categories because like my specialty, yes, I do NFTs, but like I prefer to talk about crypto and other stuff. So don't forget about us. We're here as well, but I'm glad that I was ranked number 150 something. I'm about to drink another coffee to see if I can catch up with Dup and get up there on the top 5, hopefully. But yeah, any other questions or comments from the group?
I mean, yeah, I'll just go. Certic uses like social sentiment for security, part of their security score. Is there any kind of like word recognition like AI you can implement and possibly add to that? Like, because right now they just look at like posts, but if they can actually use like sentiment in spaces, like what's actually organic, what's actually being said, I think if there is any merit to social sentiment as far as security, I think your tools could potentially enhance that.
Definitely terrible. Should I call you terrible father? That just sounds like a terrible name to call someone, but I'll do that. Terrible father. Yeah, we like the way you think. That's where we're headed as well. Obviously, we have a lot of aggregate speech data. And as soon as we're done really helping the hosts here, we're going to move into how to enhance speakers. And if you're a speaker, you want to know what is trending, what is coming up. If you're a project spokesperson, you want to know, hey, was I mentioned maybe 1, 2, 3 times this week, or maybe more than 10 times? How am I doing? How was my impact on the space? And so that's definitely on the roadmap.
That's awesome. I like that. Go ahead, ETZ.
Oh, yo, what's up, everyone? Okay, I don't have much to say, bro. No, I just saw one of my homie right here, bro, like, right now. Dub, what's up? I don't know. He had to come up and just pump our backs right here, bro.
I invited him up. Let's see if he wants to come up.
Okay. All right, no problem,
So
no
when
problem.
does the competition end again? And what does he win if he remains at number 1?
Sorry. Okay.
It's do you want to answer? Do you want to take this one? So what Duppy would win? I think there's five bounties left on Soul that we're running again. So we're actually launching. We're launching them today. You'll be able to see them later, or maybe if they're already launched, I can pin them. But they have different names, right? So we got the Super Speaker and the Super Listener, which for this time it will be on ETH. So Solana will not be able to win that again. And then there's different bounties that you can also win if you're not hosting full time, and if you're not hosting 10 a week. We really wanted to make sure it's fair and inclusive, and so there's, for instance, the Ironman, which I'm not going to say right now what bounty it is, but you can maybe imagine who's going to win. If you're first, you get 100 USDC, second gets 50, and the third gets 25. And then there's a few more, like the Farmer. Maybe it has something to do with followers, maybe not. There's the Most Humble, right? So you can kind of guess where we're headed with this and what you have to do in order to win a few of those.
That's cool. What's up, Dub?
What's up, Jess?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Just another day's work, right? So no biggie on that side of it. I just wish there was more competitors. I
How
think
many hours did you put in?
I don't know about those statistics. I'd rather not know about those statistics, just for my sanity.
We're actually crowdfunding a self-help fund to get Dub to have a more healthy relationship to technology. It's really core value of ours to empower people and also keep them sane. So Dub, reach out.
No, thank you, SuperSpaces. But anywho, sorry for the lack of energy. I'm in the classroom. I forgot my headphones, so I'm trying to keep it.
Wait,
Did you get any sleep in the last 72
What?
hours?
Are you a teacher?
Yeah, he's no, maybe not. But yeah, so if you want to try to be Dub, all you have to do is follow him and then follow him into all the spaces he's listening to, and then try to jump in and speak in all the spaces. So give him a follow him around, and maybe you can outbeat him.
Or just cut him off when he starts talking. Just like cut him off. Be like, no, I'm.
No, I talk over. No, Brooke, no.
Yeah, wishing you luck. I'm sure you'll take the crown on this one with all the coffee. What's up? Go ahead.
What is your PFP? Is that a?
This is a BFF. I had to change it because the other project rugged me. Like every PFP I have just rugs me. So
That's
Wait,
Wait,
why I'd never changed my PFP.
I
it
thought that
does give
was
me it does give me strong Will of Women vibes. Is that sort of a similar one, or
BFF, I forgot who runs it. I don't know. I'm not
Amy
like I.
Schmidt and their that PFP is actually their U project, like YOU. So the My BFF is a bracelet, and it gives people access to a bunch of stuff. But this is like their PFP project.
Thanks, Brooke. You know more about it than I do.
Yeah, mine is just a like an AI generated. No, that's actually me. Some guy slid into my DMs once though and said, "I thought your PFP was some AI generated model." I was like, you know what? That was a good slide into the DMs, but no,
nice flex, Brooke.
you're welcome for that.
What's up, Black? Good morning. I didn't see you there. Had put down the phone. How's it going?
Good morning, Black.
Good morning, ladies
We were just
and
talking
Al.
super spaces.
Yeah, I was listening to Spaces. I was definitely trying to figure out. So people are getting rewarded for just listening.
Hey, that sounds like where do I sign up? I do this all day anyways.
And
Mm.
falls asleep in spaces. So I don't know if you should get like leaderboard access to that because you fall asleep. You could like set up multiple phones and be like, I will now.
Sleep to earn.
Oh
is this
my God.
if I oh my god, that's actually a funny title. Yeah, I actually thought of Space to Earn. I think that's also sounding fun. But people call you Black. I see. Is that a kill? Yeah, right.
Yep.
Uh, cool. So I'll also just call you Black because that's what you go with. So basically, we just wanted to make it a little bit of fun, and this is really certainly not a challenge that will run in perpetuity, right? Like we will not always, have the super listener and reward them with USDC. But it just about to give you an idea where we're going with this, right? And the more people use Super Spaces, the more creators and brands use it. Of course, the more they will want to decentralize the rewards and share with the ecosystem, share with the community. I think that's something that we really believe in, whereby, if you have true fans, maybe once in a while, if you get a sponsorship, you can tip them. And many projects really want to do also giveaways in a sense where it's a bit more merit based, whereby the ones who are your continuous audience, they can get rewarded with it. And so that's where we're going with it.
What made you choose USDC?
Yeah, that was just something that we went with. We thought which stable coin could we go with at the moment. It was in between BUSD, USDC, and Tether. So we just picked one because it's
USDC.
on Solana and ETH, right? So that's easy for us.
That's very interesting. The only reason I'm saying it's interesting is because yesterday Coinbase had that like weird announcement where they were like, "Hey, make sure you convert to USDC." In their little announcement on their Twitter page. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Coinbase is just trying to save their bags. Their revenues are down 50% in 2022. So, of course, they're trying to put out FUD so everybody can get into USDC, which they're heavily um, into those with those people. My
Where's
personal opinion.
where's Daniel right now? Daniel's going to be coming into the space any second.
Oh, I'm listen, we already know. They're the fix is in. CBDC is one. You just don't know it yet.
Oh God, no, 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 no! Please no.
the game
Oh,
is
oh,
rigged.
they won. They won. You didn't know about the did you know like 4 days after the FTX crash, 12 banks started running a pilot program.
Yes,
So the
yes, and
fix is in, guys.
you try to make me not believe in conspiracy theories. Well, with the way things are going, I don't know, man. And also, I just really hope and really think that a lot of these CBDC experiments will just go straight into the trash. And I think people will find the truth.
Rigged.
Yeah, as long as we don't use the algorithmic stable coin, I think we'll be okay. They're going to come out with something that's pegged by the dollar.
hopefully. But before we switch it over to our, crypto and coffee conversation, I did want to thank SuperSpaces for coming and sharing about it. I'm excited to use the tool. I'm going to be looking out to see who wins, and yeah, it was good to have you up here and share more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, great job. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think you guys are doing amazing things. This is awesome.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for the feedback and for giving me the chance to speak up here. I'm going to, of course, stick around for a bit and just going to kind of end it with a bit of an announcement for you guys. And so we're having this grand finale of the challenge next week. If you want to swing by, it's on Thursday, 7 p.m. UTC. There we're going to really, I kind of call it the Academy Awards of Crypto, Twitter, and Spaces. So I think we're just going to have the awards being given out, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And we do this every week. And if you want to really get access to the tool early, make sure you sign up on the website, and we can bump you up in priority if you say that you're from Jess's Space. And so that's it. So thank you so much for listening in, and give some applause for Jess and the team here. Love the space.
Thank you, SuperSpaces. And if there's anything you want to pin to the top about that event next week, feel free to do so. I also did pin your Ethereum challenge that's live, so you guys make sure to check it out if you're on Spaces all the time.
And good luck against Croatia.
Oh, damn. Thank you. Yeah. I was like, it's either World Cup match or Jess's space. So I chose for Jess's space, which says a lot for a Brazilian.
Yeah, good luck with that too. What's up, ETZ?
Yo, what's up, everyone? Yo, what's up, man? Lastly, I don't have much to say, bro.
Sounds like you need some coffee,
I was
ETZ.
planning.
Right?
Hello, can you hear me? Like, I'm trying to no, I want to compliment you guys. Just wait, bro. I want to do host a space. I'm hosting the space on the 16th of December. I'm not trying. Okay, let me see. I'm not also trying to shield my space as well. So and I just saw Super Spaces. Just like, wow, it just came up to me and I said, we're interested. I said, wow, I was like, wow, that means they're supportive. That's what I just love about them. I was not even expecting. I was just thinking in my mind that, okay, I don't know, possibly I might invite them to coast me, and I just saw them under my tweet. He said, wow.
Yeah, I think you're rugging over there.
Hey, I'm rugging. What the fuck, man?
Yep.
Hey, look, can you hear me now? Oh my god.
You're good.
Oh.
Yeah, get out of the Solana blockchain. Come over to ETH
Wait,
so
wait,
we can
wait,
hear you.
wait.
Yeah, man. Is your mic in beta, Eds?
Wait, what's happening? What's happening, bro? I don't believe you, bro. I don't believe you. I think I'm just gonna ask. So it's good. Supposed to be out. Pretty doing well, bro. That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah, I
pretty
don't know
cool.
what phone you're on, man.
Jess, I wanna say
Your
something.
phone is glitching. It makes you sound every third word you might say comes out, and it actually is just bro. Matter of fact, where is Arm? That's all I hear is Arm because I hear a lot of "What's up, bro? Bro, 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 bro,
Black, he was even
bro."
like calling Jasper.
Yeah, well, our friend Arm does that. She calls everybody bro too, so I get used to that.
I think she's the one that got me doing that. Honestly,
I
I call
actually like
everybody
it.
bro.
Yeah. Bruh.
Yeah, bruh.
Bro is a Florida thing too. A lot of people from Florida say bro a lot. But yeah, I get
And
called
apparently
sir a
New
lot
Zealand
on
too.
Twitter. New Zealand?
Yeah, because I tweeted about it yesterday because I've been like saying it in text messages with my girlfriends, and somebody posted underneath that. I can't remember her name. I think Sarah something, and she's from New Zealand. She's like, yeah, this is totally a New Zealander Kiwi thing, that everybody calls each other bro and bruh. And then when all of this started happening on Twitter, she's like, and now it's just annoying because everybody's, it's the bro, bro, bro. But when it's just a bunch of dudes, but when it's girls, it's kind of awesome. That's what she said.
Bread, what's going on? We got bread and croissant in the house. So we got all the carbs here. What's up, bread?
GM gang, just only got a few minutes here before it's just been chaos right now. After got back from Miami last week and it's just been nonstop this whole week. But so I got to come in and say what's up to the gang here for Crypto and Coffee. And speaking of coffee, I know that Odyssey, the Starbucks Odyssey program launched this week. And I haven't been able to do anything with it. I haven't gotten any updates. I'm wondering if anybody up here it has some alpha on that, because I got an email being like the Odyssey program has launched and I see nothing on my Starbucks anything. I see nothing. I've got
I think
Check your
it's
spam.
the beta started, correct?
Yeah, check your spam folder. That's how I found mine. I was on there all night yesterday. It's pretty cool. But that's where I found it.
But yeah,
I'll have
one thing to go ahead, Tammy.
No, I was just going to say I need to check that too, because I remember I messaged Jess saying that, oh my gosh, I don't think I got anything. I had signed up for it. This has been probably about a month ago, but I went back through and I checked and I am on the list, but I did not see anything for the beta test, but I did look into it last night. Go ahead, Jess.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that it looks like the beta testing that they released was only for some individuals. So you might, if you don't see it in your spam folder, you might have not gotten into the beta.
a bunch of jerks. I drink so much damn Starbucks.
I know Leo got in. I got in.
I think too that they are testing with their employees as well. So I think a lot of them got into it.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I did put up Bonchu's tweet. He's actually been a part of working with Starbucks on this project. So they did have somebody from Web3 that was involved in it. But yeah, I think if you did get the waitlist email, you only have 3 days to sign up. If people don't sign up, they were going to release those beta spots to other people. So it's possible that if people miss it, you might get a notification for the beta in the next few days.
Some of the things I looked up on it too, I guess it combines the customer loyalty rewards with NFT collecting and other gamified aspects. Engage with interactive journeys that earn journey stamps in the form of Polygon NFTs. And also, users can earn Odyssey points that open access to future virtual espresso martini making classes, which is pretty dope. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, exactly. Exclusive events, trips to Starbucks. I read this at first. I was reading this. I was so tired last night. And when I first read it, I read it as trips to Starbucks rotisseries. But that's not what it was. I'm like, what are they doing with rotisserie? Roasteries is what it should be, what I meant to read, and coffee farms. So that's pretty cool. But I guess others on the rate list will be added in January. So if you did not get in the beta test, don't worry, it's coming. You just have to wait till first of the year.
Yeah, huge news for Polygon. And yeah, you got me at espresso martini. I didn't even know about that, but you caught my attention there. I'm all in.
So I have to
That is
say,
disgusting.
I was gonna say that like I've been a part of for the last like year, maybe 7 or 8 months. I don't know. Been a part of like tokenizing loyalty programs. So we were really successful at Megaplex theaters, and this is my opinion, like the way that masses are going to adopt this. Like we always talk about that, like mass adoption is when people are interacting with the blockchain without even knowing. And so what we found was like all of these sort of perks that go along with having the NFT for Megaplex. They get a giant popcorn bucket, which at first I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And they're like, no, you don't understand. People go insane for popcorn buckets, like, refillable, unlimited refillable, and it's scarce. Almost 90% of the holders, the customers, and this was all ETH, there was no credit card option, but it was like, they didn't even care what vehicle it was to get on board. They wanted the perks so badly. And then we marketed, we collabed with Warner Brothers with Black Adam, and they all got early access to that. So it's just, in my opinion, this is the way, like this is absolutely the way of, you already have this this market share, because you have a loyalty program already. Like we had an email list of 300,000 that we sent all this out to, and all the marketing was look at all these cool things you're going to get, but based on you've already been a part of this loyalty program. So it didn't even matter the price point. I mean, we were strategic with the price point, but this is definitely the way.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's the same shit we're doing over with PepsiCo, man. We have so many fractionalized loyalty reward systems all over the planet. Like we have a separate loyalty and reward program in the US. We have one in Latam. We have one in the UK. And they're all on their own databases with their own points and their own users. And we're
Yeah, and
essentially
Brad, you
building a
give them
unified.
extra, right?
Yeah.
Like you give
Yeah.
them extra.
Exactly. Well, we're starting by let's get them all connected. Like there's no point to have all of these segmented loyalty and reward points all over the planet for the same fucking products at the end of the day. And so by introducing wallets and tokens instead of databases and points, you can now create a P2P network that's global.
Yeah, but Brad, my question is, are there going to be jean jackets, and is there going to be a jet that I can get points for and get a jet?
So jean jackets, I will,
Come on, you know what I'm
I'll
talking
pass that
about.
along. And
Oh wow! I
you
thought
we don't talk about the jet.
I already got the warehouses full of them, especially with the Pepsi Nitro. That's like crack cocaine right there. That thing is badass. I love them.
I just hope that when Pepsi does enter the space, we get the alpha here, Brad. I did see that Coca-Cola is teaming up or is going to launch some NFTs on the Crow blockchain for FIFA, or some shit like that. I'll pin it to the top. But yeah, we want the Pepsi alpha first. Even though I don't drink soda, but if I do like Coke over Pepsi. I'm sorry.
It's just
Oh
objectively better.
No,
no!
Better.
just try this.
I was gonna say, Jess, of course I'll give you the alpha, but now I'm not so sure.
Okay, well,
Wait,
if
do we
this saves
seriously?
us, Brett, if this saves us, just so you know, I stopped drinking soda a long time ago as well, but always my first choice, Pepsi. I would not drink Coke unless it was fountain Coke out somewhere, but Pepsi was it. That's all I'm going to say.
Of course,
So
I'm gonna give you
Tammy,
guys all
to
the
add to
alpha.
that, Tammy, like everybody that worked for Pepsi, when they tried it, they couldn't figure out if it was Pepsi or Coke, and they kept going to the Coke, even though they worked there.
It's all about the Italian
Pepsi
soda.
challenge. The Pepsi challenge.
Yeah, I don't drink soda, so I don't know. Like I'm a bad employee, I guess.
You gotta have a San Pellegrino. You gotta go with the Italian sodas if you're gonna have a soda.
I would think that's like a part of your employment contract. Like you must drink soda.
It's part of the hazing process, I think.
I think I've caused. So I met I met somebody at a mutual friend's wedding, and I actually cut my teeth on suing soda and soda companies a few years back, and they said, "You're the asshole that cost us all that money," and I go, "That's right, baby."
Wow. So
Funny.
that
Really
you made the
quick,
price go
I
up.
saw ETZ. You had your hand up. Are you back from the blockchain? Are you back from the blockchain?
Nope.
ETZ. No.
He's been up for a minute.
Bro.
Bruh,
Bruh,
Bruh.
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 That just sounds
Bruh
like
is
my
stuck.
name.
All right, ETZ. Just chime in when you're back. Feel free to just chime in because we know you got limited time during this block. So
Why are you so funny, Jess? I love you.
All right, guys, I gotta dip. I gotta jump on a call. But thank you guys for the space. Always awesome. Always a pleasure. Jess, Tammy, Brooke, Black, Croissant, Dow, you guys, the whole gang, all you bros. You guys all rock.
Bye, bruh.
Later,
Have a
bro.
thanks,
great day.
Later,
Brad.
bruh.
Later, bros.
Enjoy your gluten.
Jess, I think if you tried that Nitro, no lie, I think you would like it over Coke.
Nitro?
Uh,
What's that?
It's a Nitro. I don't know what. It's just. I guess. I don't even know. It's just more bubbly. I guess. It tastes really good. They no, it is.
Who's it made by?
Pepsi.
Hey Leo,
See,
do you buy like Coke and Pepsi and then like all of the off brands too? Just like NFT derivatives or
Oh wow. Um,
No,
so I
Leo,
buy
you know
that's
Hoops
a
what?
Brothers.
fucking.
Leo's
That was a dart thrown at your head,
my dog,
Leo. She
sorry.
was fucking.
I
So
already
see,
started off the day
Coke.
bad because I fell for that Toys R Us launch. I thought I was on the whitelist, and there's some fucking dumbass dude that say, "Hey, you made the whitelist," and I didn't even know it was a freaking guy, just a random guy. And I'm in there today fighting for the whitelist, and they're like, "You don't have the whitelist." So I had to scroll up. It took me about 30 minutes, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I don't have the whitelist."
Hey Leo, I picture you to be the one though that went to like the fast food restaurants and you when you have the lineup of all of the choices, like you made the mixed drink with like you took every choice. I just picture you being that guy.
I do.
You know what though? I do have. I'm gonna have Coin Ledger on, which is like a tax service, in a couple of weeks, and they implemented some new NFT feature where you could burn your NFT for like a tax write off. So Leo, that would be perfect if you want to
Oh
burn shit
my
to write it off.
god.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few weeks when they're on. So that should be interesting. Everybody can burn their hidden folder and get, some tax write-offs.
I can get rid of that stupid fucking bear.
What's up, Black? Oh, the bears.
All right. So I know Leo was following this exchange, but like SBF talking about like redistributing the FTT token. Do you think that's that motherfucker would actually try it?
Man, I don't know what to think anymore with that, man. That's I don't know. I don't even know what to say if they did. Like, isn't that? I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I
It's
sound
like
like him now.
it's a primetime reality TV show right now, man. It's fucking nuts. It doesn't even make sense anymore.
Yeah, did you
Yeah.
guys see the interactions? Black, did you see the interactions with SBF and CZ this morning?
Yes, that was awesome.
No.
What?
Ooh, you got to go see it. Yeah, that was
Uh,
spicy. So
oh, I'm
basically,
here now. Hold on.
yeah, Sam basically, so CZ put out a thread, just going off about SBF being a fraud, and SBF was like, "Oh, you won," and just saying all this other bullshit. It's like just the fact that he said you won, like this isn't a fucking competition. It's. I'll put up some tweets on the top. Anybody, feel free to chime in while I look for that.
And I
Yes,
said
and
to you,
now
I
knowing. I'm
commented,
sorry, Tammy. Go ahead. Sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, Leo. Go ahead.
No. You go. You go.
I was just saying I had commented once because I saw it. That's how I saw the thread was through Jess. And I put, isn't it convenient that he cannot remember a damn thing? He remembers nothing, none of the fraud. I don't know how this happened. I don't know this. I don't know that. But I remember every last detail as to the time of my interactions with CZ. Get out of here, dude.
Now think about this, Tammy, and Jess, as you mentioned it. Knowing now what we know and seeing this tweet, like, and listening to Sam this whole month talking. There's no way anybody can say CZ did the right, a bad thing that day. Thank God he didn't pull the trigger or even entertained listening to this dumbass. Even if he was to buy the company, because how do you know he wouldn't rug his ass?
Exactly. And he said, CZ noted in there that he started selling off or like distancing from FTX like a year and a half ago is when they started to do what they did. So it's not like this all of a sudden just came up.
I'm trying to find so in that exchange that they're going back and forth, I put the thread on top. There was a tweet that Sam deleted. I forgot what he said, but I know somebody screenshotted it. So I'm gonna try to find that.
So I had a date the other day, and I've known this guy a really long time. And so he's kind of been stalking me for like 10 years, but that's not weird. So he's a federal prosecutor, and so he knows that like I'm, into all of this, and that that I would have some knowledge. And he was like, this is a federal prosecutor's dream, because he's just giving so much information. And he's like, why would somebody haul him off in handcuffs when he's just making the case for us? So I just thought that was interesting. Like, the guy's not involved at all. This isn't like, he's not giving us inside information other than the fact of why would we, it takes a while to build cases. And he did say that he's done some research that all these attorneys that he's gone to, that SBF's gone to, have fired him. So of course he's going to go to the last one, the Ghislaine Maxwell, or however you say her name, the criminal attorney for criminals, because he's probably the only one that will take the case. So his assumption is that this is going to be an easy case to win, but they're just letting him spout his mouth, and he's just the best. He's one of the best kind of people to prosecute, because he just is making the case for them. But that's just one federal prosecutor's opinion of the situation, not one that's actually on the case. I just thought it was interesting to get a perspective of somebody that was outside of our little Twitter sphere, little citizen journalism kind of research. This guy is this is the funniest thing we've ever seen. He's just on a press rampage, just giving all the information. He's like, of course he knew.
Yeah, his legal counsel's fucking up bad right now. I don't understand what they're doing.
Right.
You don't let anybody go to any media entity. You don't let them publicly speak. You keep them locked in their fucking house, and you wait till trial.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right
what I was
now.
gonna I just wanted to add real quick two things that came out this week. Is one, that it seems like Kevin O'Leary was paid $15 million by FTX to be a brand ambassador, which kind of makes sense why he's been taking the stance that he has with SBF. And then the second thing that happened is that Caroline was spotted in a coffee shop in Soho. So it's why is she in New York? And, there's a lot of speculation around why she's there. So, yeah.
Well, she's a
also,
snitch. Oh, I'm sorry, Erica. Go ahead. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tammy.
I was just going to comment that she's a snitch. Obviously, that's probably what she's doing there. And secondly, with what Kevin O'Leary stated and how much he was getting, it makes you wonder all these other celebrities. I mean, think of the money that they were throwing at these people. That's just one.
They fucked up on Kevin O'Leary, though. $15 million is a lot when you can pay $2,000 for him on Cameo.com.
I gotta say, CZ is on point, man. I'm reading the tweet. There's one number 9 where he's saying, "You don't have to be a genius to know something don't smell right at FTX. They were 1/10 of our size, yet outspend us 100 to 1 on marketing and quote unquote partnerships." This guy, I'll just say, if you go after CZ, you better be strapped.
That one doesn't really impress me so much because obviously, so the way SBF came into the space was he was in arbitrage. So that's one of the reasons that would suffice to say that he was able to build wealth to the natural level that, hey, I made all this money by effectively just taking some shit that I bought at a lower price over here and selling at a higher price over there, effectively making $1 million a day. Sounded reasonable that they could outspend them. Now, what I thought was very interesting and very telling on a different level was the other tweet where he goes, "Y'all are just going to keep using my ethnicity against me." And that's the true story, is that everybody keeps thinking that it's not appropriate to sometimes bring in people's backgrounds, but yo, SBF gave money to literally the same population that he hangs with, which is the primarily Jewish population. That's what he gave his money to. That's where all the consultants they hired. That's who they keep hiring. It's just like an ecosystem thing. They tried to paint CZ as this Chinese cryptocurrency company, and CZ has to keep reminding people, they're like, "Yo, I'm fucking Canadian, assholes."
Hey, Erica, go ahead.
Just in about Caroline when she was spotted at the coffee shop. It was, I think, like 6 minutes away from the FBI. So it was like super, super close, which is even like more speculation that she is a rat. And I think that it's pretty evident what she's doing.
Yeah, a little funny story about the coffee thing, which I don't know if you guys know. So, Autism Capital had posted the picture and said, somebody confirm. She was spotted at the shop. I actually know that shop. I went on Google, I found the phone number, and I called the coffee shop, and I said, "Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but your store is going viral on Twitter because somebody was spotted there. Can you confirm if this picture was today or not?" And the person's like, "I gotta put you with my manager. Hold on one second." And then I'm like, "Yo, your store's going viral on Twitter. Can you jump on Twitter and check if this happened today or not?" And he's like, "Yeah, send me the link." So I'm like, which I do feel like I have a search ban because I gave him my username. I said, "Search crypto and coffee," and he's like, "Nothing's coming out." And then I was like, "Fuck!" So I had to email him. I emailed him the link. He clicked on the link. He jumped on Twitter and said, "Yes, this was this morning." So that's a funny story about that whole situation. And then I
Damn, Jess,
started
you and all
talking
investigative
with
I know
reporters
you're
autism.
on this.
savage.
I
She went
connected
PI.
with
Connected with
Stalker
Autism
much,
Capital
Jess?
and gave him the screenshots of my communications with him, and that's how we confirmed that it was from that day.
Damn, girl. You're FBI up in here. Female Bureau of Investigations. I love it.
Who is next?
No, I was just going to comment that there's no way, like, who was it? I mentioned Akil, or somebody mentioned Kevin O'Leary. He is scared shit right now. There's no way, and David declines or says no, but there's more to this Brady divorce. There's more to the Kevin O'Leary. There's more to a lot of things that we don't are unaware of. Because if he got paid $15 million, there's no way an athlete's probably not going to get paid more than that to be on it. And I think the reason why Kevin O'Leary is freaking out is because once this thing goes bonkers, there's going to be so many people going down, and I think he's probably got more than what he's going to lose a lot of money if all this comes out. That he was involved anyway.
The
I
thing about
want
Brady,
to.
sorry.
I'm sorry. I had the hand up. I didn't. I hopefully it's okay for me to speak. But
Yeah, go ahead,
um,
Aslan. Sorry about that.
oh, no problem. Thank you. So yeah, I've been digging really deep into this SBF thing, and it's brought to light a lot of problems in Web3. And two of the problems are coin market cap and token liquidity pools. So coin market cap, whether when someone starts a token, they can pair 10% of the liquidity in a decentralized liquidity pool, and coin market cap will show as if the market cap is all of the tokens being paired at once. So there's a big exploit in which allowed Sam Bankman-Fried to take collateral on FTX tokens, and these FTX tokens that he was using as collateral and paying employees and sponsors were unpaired. So what I believe happened was Alameda ended up getting these unpaired tokens, and then Alameda would use these unpaired tokens as collateral, in which allowed them to use users' funds. So I've been on a bunch of spaces. I've heard a lot of people talk to FBFs, Mario Awful's space and a few other ones, and none of them are asking him the right questions. He keeps blaming it on leverage, but really what he did was, which was the most fraudulent, was he used these unpaired tokens which had value of air, and that's where most of this debt was created. I would like to hear some other people's take on this, but I'm very confused why they're not mentioning these unpaired tokens in all of these interviews.
I mean, well, I do think that might be an important part of why their trading was either unsuccessful. At the end of the day, they were using customer funds, stealing customer funds, spending hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing. I actually put up, it was released by in the news earlier, all the investments that Alameda made. And there's, they even invested in like a fertility clinic, just like random shit. Giving people out hundreds of millions of dollars. In my personal opinion, that's where the money went. They were investing in all this shit. Those were not profits. So regardless of, what happened in their trading strategies, I think in my opinion, the underlying issue is that they stole people's money and used it for marketing to pay Kevin O'Leary and to invest in all these things.
I agree,
Yeah,
but
Hassan, are you saying that because they're an unpaired token, that there's some type of difference? Because it's like a game of, like the shell game where they, are moving things around. So it's like, regardless of whether they're unpaired tokens or not, is that what you're saying? Is that there's like this other element because they're unpaired?
Yes. So here's how liquidity pools work. I'm actually an advisor for people who pair liquidity so that they don't unintentionally rug the project. So what most of these people do is, for instance, let's say there's a million FTT tokens. Okay, let's say there's 10 million. They'll pair 1 million, right? And let's say they pair $1 million with 1 million tokens. Now each token is worth $1. But they really had 10 million tokens that were unpaired. And coin market cap will now show that there's a $10 million market cap, even though there was only 1 million paired with the tokens. And first of all, like most of these exchanges that hold tokens, there's never a liquidity pool attached to those exchanges. So the only data that coin market cap is getting it from like decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, stuff like that. So there's a huge issue when it comes to tokens and the value that's portrayed on coin market cap. That allows people to get collateral off of these tokens, especially the ones that don't understand it. Like, institutions don't understand this aspect.
But if they're a market maker, and if you're lending out collateral, I would hope that you're using more viable information than what
Exactly.
retail users use, which is coin market cap. Like at the end of the day, you should know. Like he was overvaluating all those shit tokens.
Yeah, and to add to that, that's not illegal, right? Like every coin has that same system where they have the circulating
Exactly.
supply and the total amount of tokens, right? You can point to the fact that there was no real liquidity for FTT, but that's not illegal, right? Like that's the issue, obviously, that they use that as a collateral. Because to your point, there was small liquidity, so obviously the market cap was not really there. There was never that much of a demand for the token. But as Jess was suggesting, the real issue is how they use the customer and the client's funds illegally, right? That's the real issue. So I get your point about that, and if people have talked about this, but that's not the major issue because every coin has the same setup. Like
Yeah,
even the best coin had the same setup.
even beyond not being an FTT issue and not being even a crypto issue, that like it goes beyond that. I mean, we see that in the stock market as well. When we look at fully diluted market caps and we look at a treasury or the fluid liquidity within a company and the reserves, that's just an economic problem and how we evaluate our companies within this space. When I say this space, I mean the entire economic industry. But you know, yeah, I think Dow, you hit it on the head there with the real issue and how those funds were used because they weren't their funds. It wasn't part of their reserve. They were using somebody else's funds that were going through the platform. But it's very reminiscent of how the financial industry works too, because the banks do something very similar. So it's a sketchy space overall. It's just economics within the world that we have today.
Yeah, so that was an interesting exchange by SBF and CZ this morning, and interesting revelations about all the investments that they made. There's a long list that I pinned it up to the top. Some of the known names, Yuga Labs is on there, $50 million. And like I said, some other weird shit like fertility clinics and just things that didn't even make sense of why they would be investing in. But yeah.
I mean,
How
isn't
would
that classic money laundering? Like that's why they invested in those companies. Like why? Yeah, like why? Money laundering.
The guy
and
said it
what
shot up in
happened?
the Bahamas.
Would any of those companies like? And I know I don't know I know nobody's officially a lawyer here, but if anybody knows, like, so let's take Yuga Labs. They were given $50 million for equity. What happens to that equity during a bankruptcy proceeding?
It's all frozen.
So would,
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Sorry, go ahead.
All assets during the so with FTX right now, all assets are frozen. So like they just can't move anything. They can't do anything without the permission of their court appointed supervisor. So there's like a controller that says, yeah, you can pay yourself your salary, or you can pay the electric bill. Like they can't do anything, at least for FTX.US. In the Bahamas, that those funds are being held by the government itself.
Another thing that we may not be seeing is how much money does he have in decentralized wallets, right? Because you know that FTX was investing in validators, and if you know how validators work, you have to have a decentralized wallet. And I think we're missing a lot of assets that he has in cold storage and decentralized wallets too. So that's another thing to look for too, because most of these exchanges invest in validators. That's how they're able to give 4 or 5% APY and stuff like that. So if he is investing in validators, there's decentralized wallets that we don't know about.
I'll bet my left kidney he's got a ton of assets put somewhere right now that nobody knows about yet, but it's all trackable. That's the great part about
Yeah, I gotta say they know about it. They being like, ex black hats and blockchain, analysts, like they know. They find it. Like if he moves anything to anywhere, someone's gonna see it.
Yeah, this will all come to fruition soon enough.
Black, you want to chime in?
No, I was just gonna say, like, just from that legal standpoint, and I went to law school. I just don't practice. Fuck that shit. Racist ass fucking system. Criminal justice system's fucked up. I mean, it was made by a bunch of old white dudes that fucking wanted to like avoid paying taxes, and then they fucked themselves over in 1906. Who was that dickhead? The Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson. Fucking piece of shit. Oh, we're just gonna do it for a war for temporarily. Yeah. Woodrow Wilson, the worst president ever, gave us Jim Crow laws and income taxes. Fucked black people and the rest of America.
And then they privatized the penitentiary systems and made it the biggest cash machine in the country.
Crazy stuff. We do have, go ahead, Erica, and then I'll say hi to some of the new speakers that are up here. What's up?
Yeah, definitely. So when you were talking about the coffee shop and them not being able to search you on Twitter, I know that we haven't really talked about it yet, but the Twitter files too that came out last night, Elon did put a tweet out. He said, Twitter is working on a software update that will show you your true account status. So you'll know clearly if you've been shadow banned, the reason why and how to appeal. So I think that's pretty badass. Regardless of what you think about Elon, I think that's like a really, really good thing that he's doing, because I know like even is Nancy? Yeah, Nancy's in here. Nancy is like the sweetest person, so fucking kick ass, like never would do anything to get shadow banned. And Nancy, I remember you tweeting that you had been shadow banned, and I was like, what? Like, you of all people, like how in the fuck does that even happen? And there's like a site where you can go and check and see if you are shadow banned, and yeah, it said that she was. And so yeah, anyway, long story short, I just think that's really pretty awesome what Elon is doing, because nobody should be silenced. Like, we're all here to speak our opinions. Jess, like, there's nothing that you are saying that should get you shadow banned. And I think that's really cool what he's doing.
There are people that should be shadow banned. There are people that absolutely should be shadow banned. Like, if I saw Nick Fuentes' shit on here, I think that piece of crap should be shadow banned every day.
I think Matt Wallace should be shadow banned.
Yeah,
What we do
that
is there
guy
should be
too.
some
But you know what? That
transparency
guy's
on the
just a dick.
process,
But
right?
that's the problem. It's so biased. Like, everybody has their own opinion that at that point it would be a biased shadow ban. So I say, As long as you're not, violating the terms of service, there you could always just use the mute option. Go ahead, Dow. I'm sorry, and then we'll go to AB.
Yeah, I tend to disagree with the shadow ban because either you ban someone, like you give them a reason why you ban them, or you don't. The shadow ban is it's almost like a backhand way to do something without really saying that you're doing it. Like some people in this room might be shadow banned, just don't know it, and you don't even know why that is the case. So there's no transparency as to why the policies are there, and not to make it political, but to the files actually point to the fact that sometimes those policies are not written. It's just based on what people think. Hey, I think this person should be banned or shadow banned.
Okay. I want.
Go
I
ahead.
think
No,
I
I was
think Black
gonna.
just got shadow banned.
Go ahead, AB, and then yeah, we'll talk more about the Twitter files and what came out yesterday. They didn't call it
Mm,
shadow banning. What was the other term?
Content moderation.
No, it was
It was like
VS.
V something,
Yeah,
right?
I'll
Something
look
with
it
a
up.
B.
Go ahead,
I thought,
VS. Go ahead,
Yeah, so
AB. I'm sorry. Mm.
yeah, hi. How are you all? I'm blessed to be the part of this beautiful space. Thanks to all. I heard what Akil said. Hey, Akil, how are you, man? Uh, yeah. So you were saying something about you left your practice and everything on that. I think it's we are on a beautiful journey in this space, and we can even hold together and create something new and begin tasking on that. And there's nothing to worry about. We all are with you, man. Always and always support in this space.
I agree. I'm super excited about it for industry leadership within the social media side of things as well. I mean, shadow banning is a problem on all of the social media platforms, and I'm really excited that he's like, taking a swing at it. And I don't know, hopefully the rest of the industry will kind of follow, maybe at least notice.
Okay, so the term is called visibility filtering. So basically, what came out in the files, this is my understanding, that employees had the ability, if they didn't, of just putting this VF stamp on you, which was like the same thing as shadow banning you. And it also seemed like, based upon those screenshots, that employees do have access to your direct messages. So stop sending nudes out there because some Twitter employee could possibly get their hands on it. DMs are not encrypted. So
Wait, just I gotta ask you guys: are you guys surprised at this? Like, we
Yeah.
in the technology world are like, right, like any data that goes across the server, unless it's encrypted, it's somebody. If you have access to that server, then you have access to that data. If inside the company, data structure, like data access points, if you don't have that particular access, but whoever's the like network administrator, the server administrator can actually say like this group of people in the network have access, and they could say everybody does. So it's like it's completely up to whoever the network and server administrators are. But I'm not surprised.
So this is, and I don't mean to be disgusting or coy, but this is the reason why childhood pornography was actually on the rise across the globe, is because young people were thinking that they were sending their nudes, their pics to their boyfriend or girlfriend using Snapchat or Twitter or Instagram, and be like, oh, it's on disappearing mode and it'll be gone. Like, nah, it goes somewhere.
Exactly.
Yo, motherfuckers, stop that shit. I had to tell kids I was working with in high school, like, yo, stop sending pics. Like, just stop. They're like, oh, it's cute. I'm like, no, it's going to get you in trouble. And then somebody else will have access to it. And this is what puts children at risk, is that they're just not aware of it. And this is one reason why, Jess, I keep saying, I don't keep all my shit on the iPhone or on iCloud or I just don't want one person to have access to everything. Like, I diversify the fuck out of my shit. I got like 4 phones. People look at me sideways, but I'm like, no, you're not getting, like, I'm not smart enough to have everything in one area. So I'm gonna have it in a bunch of places. So if you get my shit, then guess what? You're only gonna get some of it. You're not gonna get all.
And Black, I have something I don't necessarily talk about a lot because it's difficult for people to like hear, but I have a group of hackers that work for me. I call them my hats because they range from black to gray to white, and one of which, was brought into the white hat world because he was a black hat, which just means he was, doing the illegal stuff, got caught, went into the white hat, and had to work for the Department of Justice and took down one of the biggest child pornography rings. And it is almost 95% because of social engineering and social media, and a lot of it is these. So I can just tell you for like solid reasoning that this is where it's happening, and we have to be really vigilant on. I'm a parent of an 18-year-old, and he's never even wanted to be on social media. So we've got to make sure that, I mean, everybody in here is a sister or an aunt or an uncle or has access to families that have kids, even if you don't. And it's very important for them to understand what they're using, because they were born with iPads and phones in their hands, and they need to understand like what they're sending, because there's guys out there like my black hat hacker who is now like damaged for life because he had to see all of this. And if we could just as a collective, like I'm getting chills, as a collective, understand at least a basic understanding of the dark part of the world, then we can at least try to educate our kids about this stuff. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Great point, Brooke. Go ahead, AB.
Yeah, you were talking about encryptions and even the DMs and the social platforms. Firstly, I want to quote on that. No social platform is encrypted. It's all just a scam they can play out with the people. Because something people talk about the social platforms on the Web3, it's all about something like there are a lot of players, a lot of government organizations who are regulated in that. Even if you take an example of whatever happened with the FTX in the few months back, a few days back, there was something really concerned about, and even not a lot of people they don't know about what exactly it is. People talk about the stats. Only 25 to only 35% people know what exactly how we deal with Web3, and a lot of people still are unaware about and even uneducated on these type of things. They just normally use these social platforms. Even they use chats and DMs, and even they share their images and everything, which is something they think they are safe, but still not. They are not safe, because whatever happened in the few years back, if you'll talk about the WhatsApp and other social policies, they were barred of something like that. They were not safe at all in their privacy systems. But to you can say lick it out, they just spammed out a message on everyone's status that it is all encrypted, it is all safe, but it was not at all. Like people talk about the government organizations who are coming with decentralization apps and decentralization projects. We know that they are coming with regularizations and that, but still we are not even that in that phase, or even in that trustworthy phases, that we can trust the even governments and the organizations, that what they're doing on the back of the mind, or behind the scenes, because they show people that they are doing good and they are doing better on their behalf, on their half, but still we don't know what they're changing, what they're inputting into that, because they know these Web3 are something they can make rag to riches. The government thing, the regularization authority thing, and they know basically the what exactly the stat can translate into. Because these players, and there are a lot of private players also involved into it, because they know each and every niches, each and every loopholes into it, and they know how to take out the advantages of the people's things and people's stuff. Even a lot of people, I don't want to name them here, don't want to name the servers here, because that's very confidential things, that's important for the space. So they what they do is they just take out the details of people, they sell out on dark webs, which is something a big concern, big issues on the current status. And yeah, exactly, we can only trust 10% of the government organizations, and we can even trust on the web servers, web places, and web market situations. We can trust only 30% on that, because we can't trust on any of the wallet systems, and on the pronoun systems, whatever given into Web3. Because whenever someone is growing big, there are a lot of people dragging them behind in any way, either by hacking, or either by ethical hacking, or either by any more issues into that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
those are great points, AB. Great points. I do see some new people up here. I do want to give them a chance to speak. Bella, I see you're up here. Any thoughts about the Twitter files release yesterday? I'm not sure if you're caught up on it.
I am not. Hello, good morning, everybody. I am not caught up on the Twitter files. What I do have to say about the Twitter files is I freaking love them. Like, keep on going, Elon. Keep on putting the information out. Keep on making everybody go crazy. It's so entertaining and so fabulous on so many different levels. After shadow banning, people having posts deleted on all of their social media platforms, like, let's freaking go. I love it. But no, I have not specifically looked at the ones from yesterday. That's why I'm here, is to get my news. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And another thing that was announced is that they're going to release 1.5 billion names of old accounts, so accounts that have been inactive for a long time. He did say they're going to release those soon. So I know there's a couple of usernames that I've been eyeing, accounts that I check all the time to see when they're going to get deactivated. So it is going to be interesting to see like how they roll that out, because obviously everybody's going to be rushing for like wanting specific names.
Elon's still a bitch.
Tell
Damn.
us how you really feel, though. Tell us how you really feel.
Listen, that's why we're here, to have different opinions. Go ahead, Black. Give us a different. We don't want to be in an echo chamber. Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna go, Black.
He got muted by Elon.
All right, then we'll go to Jen. Go ahead, or Dow.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me up here. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm loving the space. I'm loving the intellectual conversation. I think Elon Musk's decision to unban and unshadow ban and open up some accounts is like a great media talking point. But I also wonder like some things about capitalism and the rich and their concern with everyday human beings like us. Mostly because I know there was a union of janitors that were working at Twitter and they went on strike and they recently all got fired. And Elon Musk has also been, I guess, against anti union kind of. He prefers people to work under his company without working in a union. So I'm just wondering in the future, will we see, is Elon Musk really for the people or is he just marketing? Is he just the 1% of rich people and he's spreading out the wealth gap between the 90% and the 1%, or is he really going to give back and create any economical value for any of us?
Yeah, that's a great question, but I think you're getting into ideology at this point, right? And your issue is no longer with Elon Musk, but with capitalism in general. If you're trying to say that there's an issue with the fact that in America there's almost no longer any union, and socialism is a bad word, or people when they think of the less they think of gender or identity politics, but not Marxism, socialism.
Yeah,
That's
just
not
to
with
clear up, I'm
Elon.
not I'm not talking about philosophies. I'm basically just talking about basic economics. Like
Yeah, but you're
obviously
pointing to
obviously
issues
this
that
is
you
a
see with
billionaire.
Elon that are almost like
Hmm?
normalized in everyday capitalism, right? That's not specific to Elon, those issues that you're pointing out, right? So unless you're saying there's a special case to be made about Elon as opposed to the rest of other CEOs and founders, the things that you mentioned are everyday America capitalism, right? That's what happened. And we can agree that it's bad, but there's nothing specific to what Elon does in this case, right? And my point
I
to you
mean, I'm a
earlier,
moral realist, so I don't look at it as either good or bad, but I do think it's disproportional to the working class. I don't think it is generating any unity between the working class, and if anything, it's generating discord by allowing people like Kanye West to come back, Donald Trump to come back, people with these like polarizing views. What that does is that makes more disharmony in the working class, and that allows us not to unionize or unite, and it kind of breaks us up and like divides the working class and like double oppresses us.
yeah, but I think you're mixing issues, right? You're saying on one hand there's the issue with capitalism, right? And you're trying to point
I'm
to
not
Elon,
mixing issues. I'm
and then you're
specifically
saying there's an
speaking.
issue
Wait, let me
with
finish. Let me finish. I'm specifically speaking of Elon's Musk views towards unions. He fired a union of janitors, and he also, he's been anti-union for a long time.
But that's true of every other person in the United States.
That is
Like,
not
can you name
that's
companies
not
though?
true, Dow.
Yes, but if you say
There's a
every
lot of
other
unions
person does
in
that as
America right
well,
now.
that's whataboutism. You're saying, "Oh, he's bad, but what about these other bad people?" You know,
I'm trying to say this
I
is
think it's
capitalism in
inappropriate to
America. This is not Elon
I
Musk.
think it's inappropriate to excuse someone's actions just because other people do it.
No, but okay. What I said specifically, I said your issue is not specifically with Elon Musk, but with capitalism as it works today in America. So if you're trying to make a special case, you can say if Elon Musk was the only or one of the few CEOs that's against unions, and you can point to the CEO of Amazon, the CEO of Apple, saying, "Hey, we love unions, have them."
Yes,
Then
but
yeah, let's
again,
have
I'm
that
saying
conversation.
that's inconsiderate to the point I'm making because it's saying, "Oh, he's bad, but what about these bad
Yeah,
people as well?"
you're deflecting, Dow. So
No, I'm not
he yeah,
deflecting.
you
You
are.
guys are
That's
cherry
deflection,
picking.
Dow. Dow, that is
You're picking
deflection.
one guy out of a
He
thousand.
well, no, he didn't pick him. We were having a conversation about him, and he
Yeah,
brought it
I
up.
discussed him because he's the main media
Can
talking
I,
point right
But
now with all the
you
stuff
said
he's
that's
doing on
the issue with
Twitter.
as a
capitalism
business
in
owner,
general.
can I chime in on this? As a
Yes, but
business
you
owner,
guys need to go one at a time because you're
Yeah,
speaking
go
over
ahead,
each
Matt.
other and none of us can hear you guys.
so as a business owner, I can tell you right now, if all of my employees unionized, I'd fire them all. Um, I'm, and
Which is
that doesn't
actually
make,
illegal. It's illegal to do that, Matt. Just FYI. So don't
no,
do
it's
that
not.
if they ever do. Yeah, actually, it is. So if you retaliate against somebody for unionizing, Matt, you actually
Well,
that is 100% against what the what the EEOC would allow.
in the state of Utah, I can fire anybody at
No,
any
no, no,
time
no.
for any
I'm telling
reason.
you. So no. So Matt, if you
Well, okay,
retaliate federally, that is prohibited action because
I
unionization is a protected action.
I get what
Now,
you're
if
saying.
you fire them for other reasons, but you never mention it, that's different. But don't ever.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you for your own sake. If you don't ever tell that to anybody else.
Yeah, I agree with
I
Akil. I
appreciate your
agree with
advice
Akil on
there.
that.
Guys,
Um, but my
let Matt
point
finish.
my point is, um, I don't think that I'm a bad guy. I don't think that just because somebody doesn't like unions makes them a bad guy. Um, in my opinion, there are reasons that there are business owners. There are reasons that there are employees, and employees should not be running the business. Employees should not be getting together and saying,
I
"Hey,
have
this
to
needs to
interrupt because that's
change."
wrong. The
No, no, no,
employees
no.
aren't
Let
trying to
No,
Dow,
no,
okay,
let
unionize.
him
okay, guys.
finish.
We gotta let people finish. Have you ever been speaking and somebody interrupts you? It's the worst thing. You lose your train of thought. Let Matt finish, and then we'll go to Dow and everybody else. Go ahead, Matt. Finish your point.
Okay, so if everybody out there could just run a business, they would be doing it. They would be doing it. They would be successful. Um, Nobody wants to. Well, I shouldn't go down that road. But if people wanted to run a business and they try to run a business, and if they're successful running a business, then they have talents and resources and things that other people don't have. Now, whether or not that's fair, whether or not it's right, is another argument. But the reality is, they have something that the employees do not have. Elon Musk has an ability that his employees don't have. The minute the employees get together and say, no, this is wrong, we want the company to run this way, or we want the company to run that way, there becomes a problem because there's a reason why Elon Musk is successful. There's a reason why I have a business with 30 some odd employees. You can't have your business overrun by your employees or it would go every which way. Now, as a good business owner, I listen to my employees and I listen to their input and suggestions, but ultimately I have to make the decisions what's right for the business. I'm
I
done now.
understand that. I completely empathize with that, and I think you're totally right. I think you're a good person, and I think you would listen to your workers. I was just saying that like strikes are meant to be a little bit disruptive. Like railroad people who went on strike, you know, what I mean, that was meant to be disruptive because their wages were unfair. They go on strike and they unionize because they're trying to protect the working class. They're trying to protect their job. So when these people went on strike, they were trying to project their job as janitors. They didn't want to get fired. They didn't want to get downgraded and stuff like that. Sure, you could say, oh, just have everybody clean their own toilet, everybody clean their own office. But it's stuff like that unionizing and stuff that protects the workers in that certain situation.
Yeah,
So,
Matt, let's go to Dow, and then I do want to reel it back in because we've gone into unionizing, which is definitely way, way off topic. But let's let everybody else chime in, and then we'll reel it back in. Go ahead, Dow.
Yeah, if you guys want to have a conversation about union and capitalism, I think that's a great conversation to have, right? Like in Germany, for example, they have a strong union organizations, right? In France as well. There's protests every summer in France. You can go there from June, July, August. There's protests all the time, and people participate, and they're very active, right? But the numbers in the United States are such. There's only 10% of the workforce that's unionized in the United States. Actually, 33% in public and 6% in private. That means 94% of workers in private sectors are not unionized. So that's why I was trying to provide a context. I understand if you guys want to make it a moral standard and say this person is good, this person is bad, but you also have to acknowledge that the system works a certain way, and you may disagree with the system, but don't pinpoint the specific person to say that's the scary or the bad guy in the picture.
Yeah,
That's fair
yeah,
point.
yeah. Go ahead, Black. Go ahead.
No, I'm circling back to Elon though. Effectively, is like so. Before Elon rugged me, um, I still humbly believe like, look, this all started because of these Twitter files, right? But Jack even said, "Go ahead, Elon, release all of them." This is the part that I don't think people are looking at. Elon is a selfish fucking dickhead, and at the end of the day, that motherfucker is holding on to stuff that he knows would fucking show a different narrative. Elon did this to you all before when he was like, they're going to come out and say I did things and I didn't do them. Dude, you're on drunk, you're on a plane, you like women, you probably touched a stewardess, you paid her off. Okay, moving on. But like to try to like set this up like they're trying to take me out, like, yeah, man, because you're a fucking asshole. Anyone who thinks Elon is a good person, you're crazy. He just is the billionaire that you talk to. I have billionaires that I talk to, and my billionaires say that he is a dickhead and he is an asshole. So at the end of the day, I'm willing to believe the guys I sit down and have dinner with before I believe this guy who's like, oh, they hate me because I'm smart. Like, and also, you guys keep thinking Elon's a builder. No, man, he's a great marketer. That's what he is. He's a great marketer. He knows how the market works. He knows he's probably studying human psychology at this point because he's got 98% of you all eating out of the palm of his hands, asking very few questions of him, but you want to know everything else about everyone else. Like, well, why didn't we have this information before? Like, literally, this the Brittany Griner situation that everyone's like up in arms about on Twitter. I'm like, well, Paul's been in jail since 2018. Donald Trump was president. He didn't get him out. So why are you mad that Brittany Griner's out? Like, this is the weird stuff that I'm watching people go like catabolic over, and I'm like, well, they both should be home. Why should any American that didn't do anything ever be incarcerated? Nobody prioritized Brittany Griner over anyone else. Like, this is the madness of Twitter at this point. And
Well, that's good to hear a different perspective. I'm going to go to Alex, and then we are going to move on from this topic because we're all over the place. So we do have a lot of crypto related stuff to also get into, but I'll let Alex, who's new, chime in. What are
Hey,
your thoughts, Alex, about the Twitter files?
well, I'm happy to be in the chat. It's been a few months. I just had a daughter, so we're finally getting our scheduling. So excited to hear from everybody. I probably have a middle ground view. I think there are no, especially with what happened with FTX. Look, it's just a reminder that there are no gods here. We're all people, and I think everyone has an infinite possibility of being totally bad and totally good, and we're all somewhere in between. So, as far as is Elon doing a good job at Twitter, like with everyone else, I'm skeptically optimistic. I hope it goes well. I think I make this joke, but I'm the only one on Twitter that doesn't have a crystal ball. I didn't buy it when you all did, so I don't exactly know what's going to happen in the future. So I'm not going to try to declare it. I may have done so in the past to farm engagement, but I think with something so big as Twitter, you really I'm going to withhold judgment for 6 months, and let's see how the platform is doing. Um, you know, he claims that hate speech and stuff is down. Some people in Congress, Adam Schiff claims that it's up. Um, I'm going to wait and see. I think what he did with the Twitter files releasing the day was good, just to get it transparent. Um, and I think that aspect was good. I think personally, I think bringing some of these people back was good. Also, think he went a little too far. I don't think Trump wants to tweet, so and Trump is being a sore loser about it, and saying Elon needs to call him daddy or something. It is what it is. I don't think the point of bringing him back was because Elon likes Trump. I think he made clear in a tweet a few months ago that it kind of deifies him on the right. So just get the data out there. I think you know he's a bit out of control. So I think it was good to suspend him again or ban him or whatever. But anyway, look, I think there's got to be a happy medium. No extreme is going to win. You can't have total free for all, and you can't have some sort of even if it is a one-sided censorship thing, at least it's good that it needs to be an open one-sided censorship thing. Like, hey, I hate people on the right or the left, and that's my company, and that's how I'm going to run it. If you think like me, join me. If you hate me, leave me. So I think the Twitter files part, I think, was good. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't have the data on this whole janitor situation. It doesn't sound great. You know what I mean? I don't have all the data. Elon is obviously making a lot of changes. He does tend, as Akil points out, to be very good at attracting attention, good or bad. So I'm gonna wait and see. Give another 4 or 5 months. I've been shadow banned before, according to that little app. I don't know what. I think it's because I tag like 4 people at a time. I think it's some automatic algorithm. I'm sure I'm not important enough for anyone to target me, but I'm glad I'm not now. So hopefully, as a content creator, back into the point Matt made of starting your own business. I did this independently for about a year, and in the bear market, things dried up a bit, and I'm looking for work for someone else. So it is what it is. I'm hopeful if we can make a go of it, as pretty much everyone here is, whether they consider themselves you're pretty all good content creators. Hopefully, can be monetized successfully. If not, we can continue yapping here and. I pretty much view Twitter as I always have, as a necessary evil. There's things with algorithms in general that kind of, either tend to put us in echo chambers or connect us up with people that we disagree with so we can fight. And I think people on the left and the right may feel targeted or, kind of, that the unfairly treated, right? Because I think that's the way perhaps algorithms have tended to work. So,
Yeah, I think those are great points, Alex.
that's all I got. Glad to be here. Glad to be in the conversation. Hopefully, we can talk about crypto and hopefully this bear market's almost over. But I don't know. We'll see.
I just wanted to add two quick other thing about Twitter is that they did announce it looks like the blue subscription is going to $11 now instead of $7.99, and that's due to offset the App Store fees, which we talked about the Apple App Store fees. So
Sorry.
yeah, so we're
Sorry.
gonna have to pay $11 now, not $8.
I couldn't even pay 8. I tried to pay 8. It said I paid 5, and I didn't get the blue check. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to come. They're supposed to resume that. Who knows when? But yeah, so it's going to be $11. And then the other thing that I saw, shit, what was it? Oh yeah, since we were talking about the App Store, the Apple App Store last week, and so it sounds like Microsoft is now eyeing creating their own like App Store. So they want it to be this super app that would compete with like Apple and Google App Store. And they want to house like everything on their shopping, messaging, web search, news feed. So maybe with all the rumblings about the Apple Store and how everybody was complaining about their fees, it kind of pushed them to put out this announcement, which I'll pin to the top.
I will never financially recover from this.
I don't know who uses like Microsoft products because that's like Bing, and I forgot who it was that said that the highest search thing on Bing is Google. So people go to Bing to search for Google. So I thought that
Yeah,
was hilarious. I forgot
I,
who
yeah,
said that.
copied that. I copied that from someone else and shared it. So maybe you saw it from me.
Yeah, that was funny. Go ahead, Jen.
I just want to say that I guess to finish off, I'm gonna move away from my views on capitalism and how
Yeah,
money
yeah,
could be
we're
a
past
little
that
different.
conversation
Yeah,
already. Yes.
basically, me growing up, I've been a little bit oppressed by the working class. I mean, not even the working class, but just systematically oppressed. I'm black. People would say I talk white growing up. I didn't really fit in with darker skin tones, so I've definitely experienced colorism as well. I'm at this point in my life where I've taught myself graphic design, coding, and I'm finishing up my bachelor's in psychology. What I want to do is I find a huge issue in the medical industry. It's hard for people to get help, mental health help. You know what I mean? There's apps and stuff that are blocked behind $80 paywalls. There's not a lot of options for free or low cost people. Even with insurance, it's very limited. And when you're very limited by the insurance, one thing is like you may only have one place in your area to
Wait,
go.
Jen, I'm going to stop you
So,
right there. Are you trying to talk about your project? Because this is definitely not the space for it. And I appreciate what
well,
you're
that's
doing, but
fucked
I
up.
have
You're
to
just
be
gonna
fair.
interrupt me while I'm talking
I have
about
to be
it.
fair across the board because
I'm
this
I'm
is
just talking about the issue. I'm not talking about my
okay.
project, but it is
Okay.
nice that you've looked at my profile and seen that that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
always
I'm not I'm
do
not
because,
talking about it. I
yeah.
just think it's a huge problem, and I just like to look for solutions. I like to talk to people into crypto, and I like to see their understanding of crypto, DAOs, NFTs, and how they can actually like help people. I hear decentralization and community all the time, but I don't hear too many solutions from people.
I'm not a DeFi supporter. I believe the government should control all your wallets. I think everybody here should just turn over their keys to me. Just hand them over. You can DM me your keys. Don't worry. I will protect them with my life
Is that you,
uh, in the Bahamas.
Mashinsky? You back?
You guys know what the middle finger emoji is?
Unbank yourself, man. Unbank yourself.
Yeah, and please don't ever speak to Jess like that again. Thanks.
What did he call me? I didn't hear it.
He just yeah. Just don't ever talk to Jess like that ever.
Who, me?
Not me. I talk to Jess
Oh,
sideways.
No, no,
No,
no, no,
I like to talk to Jess
no,
because
no.
honestly, if I have to cuss Jess out, I normally I do it in the
Same.
DMs. I'll text Jess and I'll be like, "Hey Jess, I hate you because you don't like cappuccinos."
I
That's
know
when
that
Jess
that's
goes off on me because I know that she hates cappuccinos. Hey, and if you guys
Yeah, you
really
just
want,
don't come into somebody's space that's running a space and snap at them about how they run their space.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
yeah.
Just be chill, bro.
Can everybody please send Jess a free pumpkin spice latte coupon?
She doesn't like
Ew.
it.
no,
She
no,
doesn't
hell
like it.
no.
It's the best
Just
thing in the world.
flood her inbox with free pumpkin spice latte coupons.
Please don't.
Yeah, please do so she can like forward them all to me. Thanks, guys.
Sharing is caring. I'm with that. But yeah, and then so yeah, Twitter files. We'll see what happens. There might be another drop today. At this point, like I don't even know what else to expect. But like Black said, why hasn't he released all the files? Who knows? Will he release them all? Who knows? We'll have to see what happens with that. But great inputs from everybody. So yeah, we talked about the Microsoft App Store. Also, I saw that Amazon is starting like a new TikTok video stream on the store. So you can create like TikTok videos and like tag products on it. So everybody, all the like shopping experiences are moving towards that content creation embedded in their app type of vibe, which is interesting. I don't know who is next. Go ahead, guys.
I was just going to touch on Amazon real quick. I can't talk too deep on it just because of NDA, but Amazon's doing a lot of really cool stuff in terms of building an ecosystem and looking towards this space. So I'd keep my eye on those guys if you're kind of speculative and looking for opportunities.
I don't have an NDA, and I definitely know that you're 100% right about that. I know that Amazon is building their own ecosystem to be able to exchange and use cryptocurrencies, to also be able to use NFTs Yes, I know this to be true, not because I have an NDA, but because I got somebody drunk out in California and they wouldn't shut the fuck up for 2 hours.
That's
I
skill.
love you, Black.
Oh, it's skill.
That's crazy, bro. Because Amazon is going to be pissed about that with that individual. We're not allowed to talk about that. It was quite clear with us, but we're going to be
I
working.
just confirmed it. You just confirmed it. I got him.
I didn't confirm that. I just said it's nuts that someone said some stuff to you because there's some stuff going on.
No,
Whenever
I
you,
know, but it's tough when you're sitting in this industry and you're out at an event, and again, these people they don't actually work for Amazon. That they are very high net worth individuals, and so when they started to talk, it was like the floodgates open, and it was just like I at one point I even told him I was like, you should stop talking and go to bed.
Can I ask a crypto related question?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
So with Twitter or Elon's big push on free speech and transparency and bringing things into the light, um, I would I'm curious to know what others' thoughts are on the future of crypto on Twitter specifically, because right now it's pretty restricted as far as like advertising, and it wouldn't surprise me if some of crypto tweets are suppressed a little bit. When somebody's trying to start a new project, short of coming on Jess's space and shilling it, um, how do they get the word out? Is Twitter going to open up advertising? And Twitter needs advertisers right now. Is it a possibility? Do we think that Twitter might open up advertising to crypto? And if so, what would be the impact of that? Because there's a lot of scams out there, or is
I
that
thought it
just
was
never
already
going to
open.
happen?
Yeah.
Is there some? I'm not aware of any restrictions. If anybody wants to chime in, go ahead.
Isn't that like just promoting a project, like promoting yourself, a web page? I mean, I think you can just pay for that itself, and
If it's
yeah.
crypto related, it gets shut down pretty quickly, as
What
far as
about
I
like?
know.
I mean, I see crypto.com ads. I see Ledger ads.
Those are exchanges, though. I think. Matt? Are you referring to actual crypto projects, not necessarily the exchanges in
Correct.
crypto?
Correct.
So, like,
Yes,
yeah, if SafeMoon wanted to run an advertisement, they
it would get shut
can.
down.
They can't. No, I think that's on TikTok. I think on TikTok and stuff, they would get shut down right
Yeah,
away.
it's TikTok. I have a lot of followers
Yeah, because TikTok is a
on TikTok.
Chinese app, and they don't really like crypto that much over
Although
there.
if you can put it into a part where um like a situation where you're using it as education, then I haven't had any there's literally like 2 million views on a video I did about my son mining crypto with his graphics card. So that in itself says that it doesn't get banned, but I don't talk about like a very specific, like in the comments even people are like, what is he actually? No, he does say he's mining Neo. So that's just I'm just putting that out there that like a lot of these things you can either slide under the radar, or I'm not even sure, but you can talk about like whatever you want to talk about as long as it's like you're not sponsoring, it's not like these
Well, maybe
projects are
there's
sponsoring you.
there are a lot
yeah,
of
maybe there's
workarounds.
ways around it, workarounds. But like if you flat out say, hey, check out this new
Right,
token
but
or
no,
whatever,
but
it gets
smart
shut
people
down.
aren't going to do that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but smart people aren't going to do that, and I'm fairly smart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to play the
and
game.
I don't think, I mean, if anybody's starting up a crypto project, I think running an ad on Twitter like a viable means of marketing? I don't
I
know.
don't think it is, because I get a lot of NFT Twitter ads, and and they're just like regular random projects with like 30 likes. And I think if someone's like starting, like even if someone's a senior developer and very skilled, if they don't have the network, their project isn't going to get a lot of likes or views on Twitter. I know it's really difficult for someone to be like the first 1 to 5 likes. So once you get over that barrier, I guess, of like the 1 to like 100, 200 likes, I think it's easier to grow. But that initial like 1 to 10 consistent likes is pretty hard to get sometimes.
paid advertising is actually really, really useful for a starting project. With these platforms, you have the ability to scale your campaign, right? So you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get an exposure, and you can really control how targeted that demographic is. So if you're a startup business and you don't have a very powerful marketing team, this is a great way to kind of facilitate that without having to pay somebody that has the expertise to be able to find that consumer profile, find the appropriate outlets, funnel the conversions appropriately. You just utilize the platform that does it all for you. So it's actually quite advantageous if you approach in the right regard.
Great points, Anthony. Let's go ahead, Black, and then we'll go to Anon.
No, I was just going to come through and just once again tell folks that, like, listen, there are other ways to market in this industry. You don't have to be trapped in your little box. I think what we have to also recognize is that if you're looking for expansion and massive adoption, you have to know what type of market you're looking for. A lot of people jump in and they're like, oh, I'm just going to, buy a bunch of bots and I'm going to buy. Well, now the system's changing where you're going to have to be very strategic about how you place your ads and where you're going to place your money and where you're going to put revenue at and how you will build your community. I think there was a gentleman a few years ago that we did a Twitter space with. They came in and they were very honest. They said, build organically to see if your product would sell. And once you realize your product will sell, then you can start putting the dollars behind it to make sure that marketing is there.
Great point. Anon, what's up? Welcome. Good
Hey,
morning.
Jess. Hey, thank you guys. Really great space. Can you guys hear me okay?
You sound good.
Okay. Yeah, I saw Aslam. He's a really good friend of mine, was on your space recently, probably talking about his project. We met IRL. Indigen NFT in Vegas was really great event.
Who did you say?
Aslam with like a big lion picture, in his PFP. He has a project, I believe. Yeah,
No,
I saw
I
he was
don't.
a speaker. But anyway, Matt, to answer your question, there is a process to go. It's called certification to advertise NFTs. I do for a fact know at least one project that sold out on ETH running ads. So it's been easier during bull. These days it's really hard. Conversions are not as good. Those of you that have been running ads on Twitter or anywhere else, please let me know how the conversion has been. I was considering to go through that. We are building. I'm a developer with my friend. We are building an NFT project right now, a tool and a game, we were considering this route. But just like Akil said, there's so many different other creative ways to do that. So that's NFT certification route. And
Is
I
that
just wanted. Sorry,
is
go
that
ahead.
process specific to NFTs or to anything
Only
crypto?
NFTs, yeah. So you will be attached. You will be assigned a Twitter rep. They're ad specialists. That's what they call themselves. And he'll send you like this large form of like remove connect wallet button from your website. Do not advertise that you have a token on your Twitter. Remove these tweets. If you've been tweeting that it's a token and you're selling the token, you have to remove all of those tweets. They're very strict in regards to how they do it. So that's what Jess mentioned in regards to how that whole thing is going to go. And I believe their team probably probably doing some kind of monitoring in regards to, if you want to add it, like be sneaky and add it later on, they probably run some kind of AI to, continue monitoring your account. So that's one thing. Yeah.
Do you mind messaging me a link to check that out?
Who is this? To Matt?
Yeah, to Matt.
Yeah,
Thank
Matt.
you.
I'll message you the link. Sure, no problem. And I wanted to ask everybody,
Thank you, everybody.
a question.
Wait, Matt, because we got some hands up, and I got to circle it back in because we're veering into marketing and other stuff. So, Anon, did you want to chime in anything else? If not, we'll
Just wanted to ask a question. I see there's a lot of people kind of like I'm like late 30s guys. So wanted to ask you guys a question. I know there's a lot of people here also working like Web2 jobs. Do you guys have a feeling like you're just done with like 9 to 5, even though it might be a good gig, but you're like, shoot, I'm done with it. I know Web3 is great, but I just want to be doing like Web3 like full time and just like do not have a boss anymore, even though you might be like a C-level. Just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Does anybody want to answer that?
I can chime in real quick. I used to be a developer for 10 plus years. I did iOS apps. And when I found out about crypto 2017, I just jumped into it, man. I was going to get paid less. But and to your point, right? You work remote. I was based in Miami. My boss was in Singapore. So barely really had a boss. And then, like, if you work in the space long enough, like, even though there's a bear market and things go up and down, you can quickly become independent where you make a choice whether you want to work or not. You know, if you have enough tokens, it gets pretty quickly. Like most developers that jump in the space are making 300K, they get a bunch of tokens. So within 2 years, they're pretty much independent. They can do what they want. So it's attractive from a philosophical point of view because we decentralizing the data layer, which is the big issue that we have, even with Twitter and Web2, and you're making a lot of money. So it's win-win on all sides.
I wanted to add something since I guess since we are talking about marketing, and one of the topics that I did that we wanted to circle back on was the chat GPT. So AI. So how do you guys think AI is going to play a role in marketing? Like for example, Polygon has like a punk collection, and they put out a video yesterday, and the person in the video was like an AI person. I'll pin which looked completely realistic. So they have an AI community spokesperson. So, any thoughts about ChatGPT if you have used it, and maybe how that's going to play a role into like blogging, content creators, marketing, and so forth? And I do see that board. I see you're up here, and Brooke. I don't know if either one of you wanted to chime in on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Board. I have to tell you guys like Board's a friend of mine. We're now best friends. He doesn't know, but just kidding. We totally are. He messaged me. He's like, "This is a delightful group." I was like, "Come up here and talk to us." But I think that like the AI thing, if again, this is the same thing about like everybody, the Twitter being able to read your DMs. Like, are you guys surprised? Like, AI has been a thing. Like, these deep fakes have been a thing for so long that now it's just kind of becoming this, more mainstream or well known. But we've always been kind of using AI and watching these things that we don't really know if it's real or not. Like because our human eye can't tell the difference. So, yeah, Board, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, well, I did try to like write tweets in my style using Chat GPT, and it doesn't quite get it. So I have faith that, people who have a sense of humor and create something unique and different are going to have a job for a while. My pessimistic view is that a lot of people who have created original work are going to basically be fodder for these AI tools that, kind of riff on that and then go and create what they call their own generative, creative work, but is actually just like pulled from other people's past work. The optimistic view is that maybe there's a lot of sort of very tedious work that can be removed from kind of, like if like my assertion is that 50% of people who work in like the corporate world probably don't need to exist if the AI tools continue on this pace. And so if those people can survive, right, make money doing things that are a bit more fulfilling, creative work, art, music, whatever, things that other people will pay for. That's a good outcome. I just think that it's going to be a messy decade or so of that transition of like people being able to shift from this work, this craft that they've been working on for a very long time to like doing something that requires you to be sort of an entrepreneur and a hustler. So I don't know. It's a little scary to me, but I also think it's inevitable, and I'm trying to embrace it.
Yeah, I know, like, even in the NFT community within here, like, I've seen some artists that I follow. There was an artist I was following, like, oh, somebody blocked me, another artist blocked them because they started experimenting with AI art. So there's already like that, bad taste from artists, like, oh, if you're doing AI, like, that's bad. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting vibe within the community.
I was going to say I ran a poll yesterday or 2 days ago. I basically asked the question: should humans disclose when they created something using AI? 1,500 people voted, and 76% said yes. So at this stage, it feels like if you're using AI as part of your canvas, generally people feel like you should say that you did.
Yeah, and it's, we already see it affecting art, but like how will affect like journalism and blogging and things like that, where
Right.
you can just put in a thought and spit out a blog,
If I could just mention real quick, I had a sociology project and I had the basic outline done and the rubric done, and I used ChatGPT for all of it, and I got a 100%. And it was totally free from plagiarism. Everything was unchecked, and I thought that was pretty funny.
And then there's also the issue of, it can spit out a Solidity smart contract. And as soon as that starts happening, I shouldn't even mention it in here, but the rugs are going to tenfold in my opinion. And, with my hacker group, like it can literally spit out a perfectly written smart contract.
You're right, Brooke. I saw somebody that actually, a dev that used one and said, "Hey, this thing actually works."
We
But
did. We tested it at
oh
the very
wow,
beginning. They work brilliantly, and then it can also finish some JavaScript. If you like, I look at everything as it has a good and a bad, a yin and a yang. You can cook the dinner with electricity. You can also cook the man. So you can use Chat GPT to like finish really good code that maybe you're stuck on, and then you're building that for your business, or it's what I mean. Like you can go through all of these different steps. Like how is this good for your business? But then you can also look at the bad part of it. So sorry, I don't know who was next. You
yeah.
guys have a lot
Sorry,
of
I
hands up.
was putting the link to. If you haven't
All
tried it
good.
out and you want to try it out, it's in the chat box. Let's go to VT, who's new up here, and then I'll circle back to Bella and Johnny and everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. So I work mostly in Web 2. We do a little bit of Web 3 integration here. As far as like the AI and the, chat GPT, I think those programs are good, and AI can be used for generating code, can be generating images, movies, like I was doing one project here where we were overlaying HDMI feeds on top of each other, so they have like this Neo TV thing that you can order, and it'll allow you to like take one live feed and then you can overlay either another feed, or you can overlay HTML onto it, kind of like you can with OBS or software solution like that now. But when you do this with the HDMI, you literally have to take the HDMI feed and then encode the bytes, and overlay the bytes from one feed onto another into kind of a merged channel. um, some of that stuff is complicated, and it's probably going to take a while before these AIs, like, yeah, it can generate a smart contract, but a 12-year-old can generate a smart contract. When these things get down into the higher, um, or actually I should say the lower levels, when you're dealing with the hardware, and you got to map, say you only have a limited storage space, and you got to map one image on top of the other, like you have every other byte is part of a different image, or these real tight knit calculations that have to be made. The chat bot isn't very good at that, because I don't know. I was reading the thing from Vitalik Buterin the other day, and he was showing kind of how the chat bot thing doesn't recognize the types, and it doesn't recognize shifts in the data bits. So like if you perform a shift operation, it can't tell if it's what is it, base 58 or keycac. No, keycac 256.
Don't worry, I don't think half of us know half of the things that you're saying. So
Right.
you
Yeah,
don't
So
have to get it.
and real quick, not to, I'm gonna let you finish, but there's some real things happening. Brazil is winning 1-0 from a real goal from Neymar. Real football is happening, not fake.
Yeah, those are great points. Anything else, VT?
I was also wanted to mention, like with the marketing, it's a lot harder. Like back in the day, you could just go on Facebook and put a post up there, and 50,000, thousands of people would like it. Like back in the Mafia Wars days, and it was a lot cheaper, kind of to get traffic through social media. It wasn't, you couldn't go to sites like Yelp, where they want $45 a click, for advertising. But the best way to get the free advertising is, okay, the HTML on your web pages. And I know this sounds old school or whatever, but it works. And it has worked for a long time because that's the way that the search engines and stuff like that spider the website is from the basic HTML on the page. And a lot of these NFT sites are written in Node.js and these other, kind of embedded applications that doesn't, uh, display any information for the search engine to index. So they get
Yeah,
really
that's a great point, BT. Great points.
right.
We do have a lot of hands up. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you guys to keep it brief because we're coming up on the top of the hour soon and got a lot of other things to go through. But let's go to Johnny and then Bella and Brooke. And I forgot End.
How about Bella go? I'll
All right,
talk
go
next week.
ahead, Bella. Go ahead, Bella. All right. So Johnny, you're
Okay.
back up.
No. Oh,
No, it's Bella.
I can't hear Johnny.
Bella, then
Okay.
Johnny.
All right. Okay.
Go
Sorry
ahead.
about that. I was in another screen and Twitter was messing up. Okay. ChatGPT. So much fun to play with. One of my friends who is building a protocol, it did find some errors in their code. There wasn't anything major, but he was like, this is crazy. Like you run it through and it spits back out the answer. Here is my only thing about all of this VR stuff. Like as I get into it, whether it be art or ChatGPT or what have you, what in the world am I raising my children to do in the future? I really honestly, like, I can't even figure it out. What are humans going to do in the future as AI is going to, like, over the next decade, just do so much more? It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So I just wanted to bring up that point. I have no idea what I'm raising my little humans to be, but I'm going to just keep on raising them and hope that maybe the fact that I'm still making them learn how to type and write a paragraph is going to be useful in the future, but I'm not really sure that it is. All right, this is Bella. I'm done.
I think that's a great point. And my opinion, my 2 cents there is yes, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. But in the same way that people have to learn to read and write, you're going to have to learn to code and code with AI. That's going to be the answer. And there's going to be a lot of jobs and new opportunities working with AI and seeing how far we can take technology with AI.
Interesting point. Johnny, go ahead.
Sure. I think that kind of touches on the point. I think live performance is going to become much more popular. It's the only way you can trust that you're not being entertained by a machine. And I think people will value that, like live art creation and comedy, in-person experiences. This might drive us to getting out and seeing the world. The other thing I wanted to touch on is when will it become illegal to tell AI to do certain things? Obviously there's like pornography and things, and who not like an IP, writing code to impersonate someone else into tricking them. You're doing this or that. Like there's going to be a whole new wave of AI crimes. It'll be interesting to see how we hold people accountable. I think probably the AI engines themselves will have to register with the government and be logging, maybe KYCing the people who are using their platform, and logging what kind of queries they're running. Like that is really the only way to prevent some really horrific things from happening. I don't know exactly what it'll look like, but I expect that in the next few years, we're going to have to see strong regulation to literally keep people safe and ideas safe.
Those are great points, Johnny. Hadn't thought about that. Brooke, go ahead.
Oh, I'm next. I just like VT was talking about, like the code and stuff like that. And yeah, we kind of go over people's heads, but there wouldn't be a Web3 if there wasn't a Web2. There wouldn't be Web2 if there wasn't Web1. Like everything builds on iterates on top of each other. But the base of all of this is human knowledge. So I just believe that AI is only the way it is because humans are as smart as they are. And I just don't think there's ever going to be like a mismanaged balance of like, oh, all of a sudden AI is going to take over. I mean, it's only as good as the input. That's just my opinion. I think a lot of people, because they don't really know how the algorithms work and the code works, that they're just like, oh, it's going to be 2001 Space Odyssey or whatever that movie is, like, and it's just going to take over. But it in actuality, it's like it's going to make human brains smarter, and so there's always going to be that balance of power of the human brain will always outwit and outmatch the AI. And I'm sure, other people have opinions about that, but just in the tech world, I don't think a lot of people are super worried about it because they are the ones in control as humans.
Great points, Brooke. And what's going on? Thank you for patiently waiting. You're all the way at the bottom, so I kind of missed you. I didn't scroll down enough.
All good, Jess. Thanks for having this space, and yeah, it's very interesting the AI discussion, and yeah, I'd have to disagree with Brooke on that as far as AI being very much an existential threat to humanity. When it becomes sentient, and I think it very likely will. But that's not what I came to talk to you or pose a question about. I've been an investor in crypto space since 2015, and my whole family's future is contingent upon the success of this space. But what I would like to hear people's perspective on is the Ripple battle with the SEC, and how a ruling on crypto from the SEC will determine where the truth lies with with crypto. So who wants to speak to that? Thanks.
I have one quick thing to say, and that is probably your family's future should not rely on this industry. That would be my only non-financial advice.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I mean, honestly and
100%.
truthfully, like never. It's literally like I just told folks a minute ago in terms of what we're seeing in general. Giving anyone everything is not a good idea. All your data, all your information, all your money, it's just not a good idea pragmatically. All right. I know there are a lot of people, they all take risk. Some people are able to take more risks than others, but I would just say just be very careful because what we have seen in this industry is that some of the biggest whales have gone down in the fires that they could never come out of. Like, look at we look at Dow, we look at like last year I went to a party at Bitcoin for Celsius. Like Celsius was like, yeah, we're gonna have this huge party. I mean, it had to be $500,000. Alex knows those parties were ridiculous down in Miami. Had to be easily $500,000 party. Gone. Not gonna happen again. The Terra Luna crew. Everybody was screaming about that. Mike Novograd's got a tattoo of the shit on his arm. Gone. Never gonna happen again. And I was with Novo like 2 days after that shit happened, and he was just walking me around his apartment showing me some really fucking fancy art. But I was like, yo, this dude just lost like $5 billion, and he's like showing me some shit, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna be good. Gone. Like, and then FTX, what was it, like $300 billion lost? Like, come on, gone. Like, or 30 billion. But it's still like, you just do not do that. Now, back to your question at hand. What do I think of FTX, or what do I think of this lawsuit with the XRP? I think XRP is going to have to pay fines because at some point they may have acted as a security. May have. I'm not saying it's 100%, but they may have. And they'll have to pay a fine, get a wrist slap, maybe $100,000, maybe $500,000. Even if it's $1 million, nobody's going to care. And then the banking industry, which we reported on 4 days after the FTX crash, the banking industry got into a pilot program that is for cryptocurrencies. What were they using for that pilot program needs to be your next look into. That's my piece. I'm out.
Yeah, those are great points. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the XRP thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously the SEC, this is my personal opinion, is more worried about getting, their fees than actually providing regulation. And since we are talking about like regulations and stuff, we talked about the Kim Kardashian Emacs case a couple of weeks ago. That case actually got tossed out by a judge. So the judge said that it was not clear that the plaintiffs had actually seen the promotions. So they weren't able to prove that they actually saw those ads. And then the other thing was that there's a California consumer protection, and it said it did not apply because that law does not apply to cryptocurrency. It only applies to tangible goods and services, and cryptocurrency is not considered that. So that was interesting. It looks like Kim K is sky free to go show more shit tokens.
Well, they also said the judge also said, like, stop basing your investment decisions on the zeitgeist of the moment. And I was like, yes, that's what I've been saying. Like, you have agency over your own investment decisions. You are not forced by celebrities to spend money.
He did also say that the plaintiffs can refile with amended claims. I don't know that anybody will do that, but it is an option.
Could I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. A great point. I agree with a lot of what Akil said. I mean, one thing to add to, I think too much is being put into this lawsuit. If I understand correctly, and I'm not an attorney and I'm not a politician, but my understanding is the SEC is supposed to enforce regulation. Congress is supposed to set it. So I think getting regulation set by Congress is going to be more important long term than the decisions of this case, which I do think will go pretty much what Akil said, somewhere in the middle. I think they had the opportunity to settle it. I think that was a terrible decision by the leadership of Ripple to not just settle it. And I think, that's why kind of the XRP kind of seems to be left behind out of that last bull market we had. Could be a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I think they, my opinion, that XRP is not a security. I think the company Ripple used it as a security, basically printed money out of thin air to fund their company, which is kind of my understanding of what a security, one of the elements of it, right? It's not stock in Ripple, but anyway, is what it is. I think regulation, some sort of regulation that provides good roadmap is needful, and something we are talking about a long time ago. Just to quip real quick, I think I don't need to hear about more shit coins being minted and promoted on Twitter. I think we have enough. This last bear market's worn down me on a bit. I'm sticking to Bitcoin and Ethereum and gaming, and I want to see quality, and I don't really care if some project has enough money to pay Kim $1 million for a tweet. That's on them. I'm not going to buy their shit coin. I don't care if they promote on Twitter. I really don't want to see it. I'm sick of it. I have a headache.
You know what I think with with this is what needs to happen is that some type of regulation or something needs to happen. What I was thinking was, they've got hundreds of billions of dollars to invest in all these companies offshore, but what they need to do is just go to a small company that can say,
Sorry.
okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this honestly, and we're gonna do it right, and then start a small company. Like up in Vermont, this is a crypto friendly state, so crypto is considered an asset and not a
Who do you mean, like,
security.
who are you talking
So
about having all these billions?
Hey,
well, well,
VT.
look
Somebody
at,
else.
I mean, you get
VT. Somebody
company
else
you
was talking, man, or whoever else was talking over them. Just chill out.
No, I think VT's talking and Alex was talking over him. Go ahead, VT, finish up. Sorry.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that what somebody needs to do really is get one of these investors and just go to one of these small companies and that can work, with their local community on the, crypto legislation. Because what they're doing is they're like, okay, we'll just, send $1 billion or whatever to the Bahamas and let them figure it out, when what they really need to do is, somebody needs to start a small company, in a place where they can kind of work with, the government and keep everybody happy, and, just kind of do it. Because the way that the laws really get written in this country is by people, doing things, and then these court cases come up like XRP, which I don't even know what the exact legal arguments of that are. But it's real easy to find, honest people to run crypto companies.
Well, I mean, the point about crypto is to be a trustless system. And I think for like centralized entities, there's no regulation. So we're back on the trust factor. I think that's what's missing is regulation, not, after the fact. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but FTX owes the SEC, I think it's $30 million or something like that. So it's like, yeah, we had no regulation, but they were trying to, collect their checks. I did want to go.
BlockFi. Sorry, it's BlockFi.
Oh, it's BlockFi. I know it was one of those two. It's too many to keep up with. Yeah. But another thing that I saw as far as like case rulings is for the Celsius case, the judge did order that 44 million of crypto that was in custody is going to get returned to the customer. So that's a positive thing in that bankruptcy dealing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the money that was not in like the interest accounts. The custody accounts are the names they gave to the non-interest accounts. So it's good if you had money in there. It's bad if you had some money in interest accounts, because that money's going to someone else.
yeah, I'm terrible. I'm going to go to you, and then I do have to move it along because there are a couple of important topics that I want to get to.
Well, I was going to speak about the AI thing and how we need more clarity with copyrights, especially when it comes to marketing, because like say PacSun's AI generated influencer. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, anybody can use that for their own product unless it's been trademarked, but I don't know how you could even do that. But just basically digitally generated art of any kind has yet to win a case for obtaining copyright laws. But as far as the Celsius thing's concerned, I think it's great that we have like some kind of precedence that says depositors get their money returned before, say, like investors in the company. So that's good news.
Hey, Jess, if you don't mind, I'll just jump in right here because we've been playing with the actual OpenAI API. Those that have access will know what I'm talking about. And actually, DaVinci 3, they just shipped probably like a month ago, is extremely intelligent. We actually experimented doing some Twitter replies with it, and it actually did, increase our following organically, which is fantastic. So we're definitely looking to build some stuff into it, and actually some other, other tools that will probably open up the eyes of some of the people. Like you just said, is it ethical? Is it evil? What can I do with it? So yeah, just wanted to kind of, share my experience with it.
Thanks, Anon. Yeah, it's good. Now it's like trust nobody. You might be talking to an AI bot. Like there are AI accounts on Twitter that all the messages are just AI. Go ahead, Black.
All right, so this is going to sound really stupid, and a lot of people are going to be like, fuck a keel, but I'm now going to. I've never been part of this gang, but I think I'm going to have to be part of the gang on this. Like, tech has to pay higher taxes. Like, I don't care if you don't like it, but this is going to warp. Yeah, I know, Dow. Nobody cares. You're going to thumbs down it, but it's because there is nobody that is going to be held accountable to actually fixing your schools, your internet. Now, you're dumbed down. I can already tell. Like you're not really caught up on what your system that you live in is.
Don't mind me. I'm just the AI. Don't
Yeah, I
mind me.
know. Your systems have to pay for things, right? People have to pay for things. Schools, publicly funded schools, are a system. How are you going to educate students, young people, if you don't have people paying into a system? Like, everything that is AI related will then denigrate even worse what we're already facing. I'm not saying that I believe that, and if you can't get taxes out of people, because essentially is you say people need to hide their stuff and be self custody, well then the corporations that are managing these funds, these high net worth organizations, will then have to pay higher taxes, and that tech will have to pay more for less people being able to be employed. That is something that is inevitable. That if you don't look at it holistically, you're going to see a reduction in the workforce. Because look, doesn't matter how many developers you are, if there's nothing left to develop, then guess what? There's no jobs. Microsoft is already experiencing this. You see, the tech industry is literally firing people. They're firing people. So how are you going to continuously say that you need a more tech, but at the same time there aren't enough tech jobs to be supported? That means that less people are going to be able to have things or support themselves. That means the wealth inequities will really become fairly large if we go down that path.
Well, the Yang Gang also founded his political rise on universal basic income, which is kind of tied to this idea. You run out of work, and I think Musk himself has been a proponent of this. Not that it's a good idea, but that this is what's going to happen is as the jobs, as manufacturing is taken over by AI, as art and entertainment is taken over by AI, as coding is taken over by AI, we don't have anything to do but sit on our ass and get a suckle on the government teat and do, get on Twitter Spaces. That's pretty much what it's coming to.
I disagree with that, and I'll piggyback on what Brooke was saying. And I know that sounds biased, but if you ask the average developer, they're not worried about that because they understand that it's all based on actual humans creating the AI, maintaining the AI, and interacting with the AI. So I know that's gonna sound crazy to say that, but every technology ushers new opportunity. The same thing happened when we had the printing press. A lot of people get worried about their jobs. Oh, I'm no longer able to just like teach by oral tradition. A bunch of people got books now; they don't need me. And I believe the same thing is going to happen with AI. You're just going to have more innovation. Now, of course, a lot of jobs are going to be running out. They're not going to be there. And some people are not going to be able to retrain themselves. You're 40 years old, having to learn how to code and deal with AI. Forget about it, right? But
Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa!
do think.
40 isn't fucking old,
Let
man.
me finish. Let me
40
finish.
isn't old though.
Let
40
me
isn't old,
finish.
Dal. That
Can
is
you let me finish?
very fucking
I'm a dumb
weird. You're like
AI.
40 years old. You
I
can't
lose my train
retrain
of thought
yourself.
if you interrupt me. Let me finish. When you talk, I don't interrupt you, right? I'm a dumb AI, so I need to keep my train of thought really simple right now.
You do at
Um,
times, but all right.
all right, let me finish real quick. I'll be done real quick. So my point is, there are insane amount of opportunities when you start to think about where AI can be applied, right? When you talk about space, um, medicine, all kinds of different fields will be insanely improved when we start to use AI. Unfortunately, that does mean that people will have to learn the code, and unfortunately, that does mean that a lot of those professions that we take for granted are going to be replaced. If you're a driver or some kind of like blue collar or even white collar jobs, a lot of them are going to disappear. But that's how technology and human civilization advance. So I know there's going to be a lot of issues, but every technological change, we have the same conversation about, oh, it's the end of the world for a bunch of people, but it's usually not the case.
Well, but that doesn't address what I was talking about, Dal, at all. It only addresses well, there's new opportunities, but I'm talking about workforce. So you literally, so how many jobs are you going to be able to create? Say you're saying, well, somebody's going to have to maintain and update and manage that AI. How many developers is a company going to bring on to do that is the question. Or is it
We
going to
don't have
replace?
enough.
Is it
We don't
is
have
it
enough
going to be a
developers.
5-to-1 replacement? Like so,
We
for
don't have
every one
enough
of those
developers
jobs,
around the
five are
world.
lost.
We don't have enough developers around the world. There's literally a need for developers around the world that is insane. I
Yeah,
mean,
but they're
ask any
also,
developer.
but Dow, they're just
They'll
saying.
tell
I
you
just
for
told you.
every.
I gave you a clear case where they're reducing the workforce.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, there's going to be jobs that disappear, but there's also going to be jobs that are needed to maintain AI, to create AI, to update AI, to compete, to have the best AI around the world.
But I
Companies around the world
specifically
will have to
said they're
compete.
reducing the workforce of developers because companies are laying them off. The
In some
tech firms are
places,
laying folks off.
Gentlemen, 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 gentlemen. Share your last thoughts, and I've been trying to move on for the past 30 minutes. So share your last thoughts. I do want to, and then we'll go to some of the hands.
All right. Last thought is this. I'm not saying that it's not inevitable. My comment was is that if this is the pathway to the future, then you're going to see greater taxes, or greater taxes will should be implemented on those entities that have a reduction in workforce. That is literally what Andrew Yang was talking about when it came through tech. And Dow, unfortunately, I don't think that you actually recognize that humans as people, even when they are not able to quote unquote work in the industries that they once worked in, they then have to be retrained and reclassified. I've seen it firsthand. This is one reason why the what they call the your ERMs, electronic EMRs, your electronic medical records. Electronic medical records was a prime example of what happened when an industry wasn't prepared for the change. You saw a massive reduction in a workforce. You saw a massive closure of local community-based doctors, and then you saw a rise in medical costs. I'm coming at this as somebody who has had to do extensive work in the pharmaceutical and industry, and that's what we saw is when we saw a lot of locally based people have to close because of electronic medical records. They're like, well, we're just not going to be able to upgrade. We just can't afford it, and then we're not going to hire the staff, and then they just close altogether. And then a larger company says we'll do it, but they don't end up hiring as many people as the smaller ones did, and then you see another burden placed on the everyday human. So when I talk about this, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I think it is. But what also needs to happen is recognizing that funds to education and your roads and your schools, it's got to be passed to somebody. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of pissed off people.
All right, Dow, and I am going to ask you guys again to please keep it brief. I do got to wrap up soon, but Dow, respond. I do want to say hi to Matt, and then we'll circle back to Brooke and Alex.
Yeah, I'll be very quick. Yeah, I think there's some great concern. Maybe like a topic for a Twitter space, like to really deep dive into it. And I love what Andrew Young said about universal basic income. I just think if you ask developers who are actually building the AI, they'll tell you it's insane amount of demand for human resources for developers. So maybe Brooke can touch on that, but that's just my 2 cents. And by the way, Croatia is back 1-on-1 since penalties right now.
Dude, Croatia's about to win. Oh my gosh, this is insane, Dow.
Massive. That'd be a huge upset.
It's 2-0 or 2-0 in the strikeout. Let's freaking go.
What a game.
Brooke, did you want to chime in on that? If not, I'll circle back.
I don't watch football, so I don't really have anything
Oh
to.
no, on
I
what
know, I'm
Dow said
kidding. I'm
before
just
that.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I do. I know you want to move on from this, and Dow, like, let's have a Twitter space about this because I have so much to say. And Black, I totally agree with you with the like electronic medical records that they were absolutely unprepared for that. And in the tech world, like, we're service providers, right? Like we're doing what we are asked to do and not necessarily, like trying to so many people in the tech world, the nerds, the programmers, they really don't have this like agenda, like, oh, we're going to take over the world. It's really the customers of the tech that are like, let's push the boundaries. And technologists, primarily, just from my experience in the last, 30 years being in tech, it's always kind of been that way, that we've been the go-between between the disruptors, the business people that want to push the boundaries, and the straightforwardness of what the code can do. And then the idea that like AI is going to essentially become or eventually become sentient. Well, the only way that that's going to happen is with a biology piece of it, a biological piece of it, which is also has to be implemented by humans. So if humans get to the place where they can create sentient AI, then it's still a human based like product. And so, it's never going to become, in my opinion, an issue where they're going to take over, because we're the ones who have programmed that biological aspect of it.
Great point. Morning, Matt. How's it going?
Hi, Matt.
What's up, everybody? Just congratulations on the affiliation partnership.
Thank you. Are you finally
So
going
now you can get
to
a good word in us for us
migrate
at
from?
with CZ.
Are you finally going to migrate from Coinbase to Binance US?
Am I rug?
Oh, he can't hear me.
Can
Hey,
you not
Matt, you
hear
may need to
Jess?
leave and
Yep, I'm rug.
no,
Hey
you may need
Matt,
to leave and come back, Matt.
yeah, Matt, she wanted to know if you are finally going to
Just
move to
got here.
Binance from
Can't believe it.
Coinbase.
Yeah,
All
he's
right, I'm gonna
rug.
leave and come back.
Leave and come back. Leave and come back, which is perfect because he's going to come back to his favorite topic, which is Ethereum. So just a couple of updates on Ethereum because I know I went off on a rant about not being able to unstake your ETH. It sounds like the developers finally did put up an announcement that ETH staking withdrawals will possibly be coming in March of 2023. So if you've had your ETH staked and stuck, you'll have the ability to do that. So that'll come out with the Shanghai update and possibly in March of 2023. So that's positive news.
Wait, what happened?
On the I said ETH staking. Remember, I went on the rant. So they're going to allow withdrawals in March of 2023. That's the target date that was released by the developers this
I
week.
mean,
Um,
there was a way you could always like unstake your ETH. Like I've heard people talk about this before, and it's like you could, if you really want your ETH back. So first, let me start with this, and I'm not gonna take long. If you have your,
Wait.
go ahead, go
But
ahead.
before you go on your rant, the way you're talking about it is in a centralized manner, not in a decentralized manner, correct?
If you want your ETH, the value of it, just like sell your wrapped ETH and get your money out.
No, so real
Exactly. So
quick,
you would
what
have to
Jess
go
is
to
saying is,
you would have to go to Coinbase and do that. Go ahead, Dal.
yeah. So just to clarify, right? If you were staking directly on the Beacon chain, right? Because you guys remember, like there was the merge happened like less than 3 months ago. There's no withdrawal feature, right? When they made that change, and I'll take 30 seconds to explain it. It's almost like a moving train, and you're changing the locomotive, right? It's super complex, probably one of the most complex things we've seen in crypto. So they didn't want to add another extra complexity, which is to enable withdrawal on the new thing. They didn't know if it was going to work anyway. So now they're saying, as of March, they're thinking they're going to have a hard fork to enable that feature, and that's pretty exciting for a lot of people that thought that their fund were stuck forever.
But
There
it
was a lot of
wasn't.
thought around that.
It's just the way they wanted. Like, okay, so I'll give you guys an example because I did this myself. Okay, I wanted to take out $700 of my staked ETH that was on Coinbase. I accepted the CBETH, right? So in return, yes, they kept my staked ETH, $700 worth, and I sold off the wrapped Coinbase ETH for $700, and I got the $700.
Yeah, but
So
that's not the ETH. That Coinbase will take your ETH and then
I
stake
don't
it,
care.
right?
I needed the money. I
But
But
if people are not using Coinbase, that's not an option. Let's say they had it staked in a decentralized option. And again, I don't want to go back and forth on this. The good news is that you can unstake it now. That's, I mean, in March, wherever you have it, because I agree, you have it on your favorite platform, Matt. Go ahead.
No, okay, look, they need to roll out, and this was been plaguing crypto. Okay, they just if there's a user friendly way to do it, it's gonna happen. You know that's what they really need to like me moving forward to like at the speed of light. They need to move towards a user friendly way to do this. Like I'm telling you, like all this other hard fork beacon, nobody, average newbie coming into crypto doesn't care about none of that.
With the
yeah, but it's to
update,
shut down the BTC maxis that was saying it's never going to have work and the withdrawal is not there. So it's a nice win.
yeah, it's a huge win because, yeah, now people that are not on Coinbase like you, who, by the way, I said earlier, Coinbase revenues are 50% down since last year. They'll be able to unstake their ETH. And just really quick, a couple of other points about Ethereum. On a high note, we talked about the unstaking. On a down note, the last time I checked, which was on Tuesday, ETH is back to being inflationary again. So when the merge happened, the way that it works, if there's more transactions, more gas used than what's printed, then it was deflationary. Obviously, with the usage of ETH being down, it is now inflationary again. But overall, the amount of ETH that has been printed since the merge is down drastically. And I'll let Dow correct me or chime in on that.
No, you're right. It's inflationary by a small amount, I think, right? And I just want to add like 30 seconds because I don't know if you're going to touch on that, but Arbitrum officially uh, replaced Polygon in terms of activity, TVL, and transaction volume. So if you look at the top blockchain on DeFi Llama, you have Ethereum, obviously, then you have BSV, then Tron, and then the layer two now is number four, like above Polygon, above Avalanche, above Solana. That's massive. Layer two is no longer a narrative; it's a reality.
Yeah, I put up a thread that talks about Ethereum, and it does mention Arbitrum and Optimism and the rise in those two layer twos. And then what was my other point about who
You were
has
gonna
their
say
hand up?
immutable
Sorry, I'm
X.
not. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I was
ahead,
like
Black.
you were gonna say immutable X layer two Ethereum.
I haven't heard much from Immutable X. I mean, if we look at the activity, it's Polygon, Arbitrum, and Optimism leading the way when we talk about layer twos for ETH at the moment. Not to say that they won't, but at the current moment.
Yeah, potentially ZKP's knowledge, zero knowledge proof, will be superior and get more adoption than optimistic rollup. So, Immutable X, I think it's based on Starkware, is one of the main competitors with ZK Sync, and also Polygon is in that competition too.
And back down to the point, and I know I've talked about this before about ETH turning inflationary again. Like, is that a factor of the rise of all these L2s? So everybody's on the L2 network now, like, and less people are using the main layer.
Yeah, I feel you might have a point, right? The philosophy is the layer two still need to roll back those transactions back to layer one. Um, but they need to have a lot of demand, right? You need to have a lot of roll up going back. So yeah, I mean, even if it's inflationary, it's by such a small amount that it's not that big of a deal. So I'm more optimistic with the long term vision. And right now, yeah, it might be inflationary, then next month deflationary. But as the market goes back down, there's more adoption. It should work itself out.
Yeah, and just one
1-1
last point.
tie.
Oh, go ahead, Black.
I was just saying 1-1 tie.
Just one
Wait,
last
So
point when we talk
Dow, you're
about
like behind here.
when we talk about the general like inflation of it, Clouded, I put his tweet on the top. So since the merge, there's 1 million coins less that would have been generated versus now 1 million coins less after the transition to proof of stake. So instead of 1 million coins being printed out by ETH, there were only 2,600 since the merge, which was 84 days ago. It feels like a year ago. I don't know what you guys think.
Croatia won. I just want to insert that. Sorry.
Yeah, man,
What are
that
y'all
sucks for
talking about?
Neymar. That was a great goal.
What? That's about soccer?
Yeah, I'm blown away. Croatia
No,
beat
no, football. We're not
Croatia.
talking about soccer. No
no,
one
we're
is
talking
talking
about
about
soccer.
soccer.
Football. We
We're
don't
talking
Soccer.
about football.
call it.
It's
Soccer.
soccer.
Croatia
Soccer.
shocked the
I
world.
think two people on here on this panel watch soccer.
I mean, I follow it during the World Cup. I mean, because that's when you're supposed to.
That's right. True American there. I appreciate that, Akil. That was nice. That was epic.
Okay. Croatia won, guys.
Congrats.
They didn't just win,
Dragon.
they kicked butt. They kicked their butts.
And it only took them 3 hours.
It's in the shootout. I mean, that's
Yeah, it's in a shootout. It wasn't like it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it only took them 3 hours.
But yeah, gamification, Alex. I know he said that a minute ago, and that's why I brought it up, or IMX, because Charles Askins was saying it. He goes, "Look, in a bear market, you're going to see creators create, and where do people normally create at?
Who the hell
They
is that?
create games, and what do games do? They entertain. This is a tale as old as time, folks. It was said from Julius Caesar, what they say, give them circuses and bread and they'll be fed. Basically, entertain the masses.
That's true. It worked out. They didn't. They didn't. Well, no, it didn't work out for him. They eventually killed him. But it's true. It's totally true.
Ricardo, are you crying?
No.
Yeah, kick up. One of y'all
What is
co-hosts.
going
Come on, host,
on?
host,
I thought
guys.
that was
Kick
you.
him
I thought that
off.
was your
Why would I
background
be doing that?
Can you hear me, Matt, or are you still rugged?
I'm not rugged. That's
Oh, okay.
Ricardo crying.
I thought that
Yeah.
was your background noise. That's why I
No,
muted you. I'm like, who's he talking to and
that's
why is he
Ricardo. That's
crying?
Ricardo with the Seahawks thing. Kick him off.
I did. He's
Okay, good.
gone.
Still
There you
fan.
Jesus.
He's a fucking Seahawks fan. That's why he's crying.
I
Who the fuck is
it
a
feels good to be
Seahawks fan?
Bulls right now. 11-1, baby.
Ricardo was a Seahawks fan. I don't know why the fuck he was up here crying.
All
Yeah,
right.
gamification's big. Could I make my comment on AI now? That was from a while ago, or someone else's turn?
I was gonna
I
say just
actually
it's
had
not
go.
really a crypto. Go ahead.
No, go ahead,
I was
Matt.
gonna say it's not really a crypto and coffee without a random crackhead moment. All right, go ahead, Alex.
That is very true. Alex, unfortunately, I do have a 1 p.m. hard cutoff. I do have a call that I have to get on to. So I apologize if you
Is it
did.
with CZ?
It's okay.
It is not with CZ,
Great space.
unfortunately. He's off arguing with SBF, but yeah, what are we looking forward to this week? What are we expecting? Oh yeah, SBF, is he gonna testify or not? What do you guys think? Does he show up or not?
Nope.
Video conference call while wearing a t-shirt and no shorts.
On like a
Facts.
half a bottle of Adderall.
I want to know why is Ricardo back up and why is he crying?
Ricardo is not back up here, so check your phone. But yeah, anybody else want to chime in on? Do you think SBF goes or no, or testifies?
Jess, have you reached out to SBF to come on Crypto and Coffee next week? Because I think that that would just be
No, I
fabulous.
don't.
Come
Well,
on.
what's
That
the
we would have
point?
so much fun. We would just have so much fun with him.
I don't
I
think
Like,
I
I
would
can
think we
stomach
should.
listening.
I would
I don't,
not want him on here. I never reached out to him to interview him. Like, what's the point at this point? Like, we've heard him speak so many times. He's just lying to us. You know who I would interview? Caroline. That's who we need to be talking
100%.
yes.
to.
Yes. There you go. Do it.
Yo,
Oh God, no.
I feel like
What's that?
Sam would just come up here and making cringe comments to just
What's that saying about a scorned woman? I know, Tammy, you know it.
Hell has no
Hell have
fury
no
like a
fury as
Hell
a
woman
has
woman
no
scorned.
fury.
scorned.
Yeah, so that's who I'm looking forward to. When is Caroline going to speak? Because that's going to be when we're going to get the real juicy shit.
Am I
Um,
the only one too, Jess, that thinks of the Outcast song every time I see her name or hear her name, Caroline? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
oh, the cute.
Caroline, Caroline.
She's the reason for the word.
Bitch.
Fuck Caroline.
Yeah.
oh dead.
And in that last space, they did bring it, that Sam did, they did bring up like, oh, Caroline was on in the coffee shop, and he did confirm that that was not their dog. So he never said it wasn't Caroline. He said, oh no, that's not Gopher. So it wasn't Gopher in the coffee shop with them.
Wait, there's a dude named Gopher?
No, Gopher's their dog. So if you look at the
Oh,
pictures from the shop, there's a little dog in the background which looks exactly like their dog. But yeah, Sam confirmed that it wasn't Gopher.
I can't
Are
hate
they
on the dog.
are they together or what's going on with that?
Are Sam and Caroline together? I don't know. I mean, if your ex said, if you and your ex did something shady together and your ex goes around saying, I know nothing, it wasn't my fault, are you still going to be with your ex?
No.
So yeah, I think we'll have to assume that they're not. But yeah, any last comments from anybody? Anything else that's happening this week that's big that we need to look out for, keep an eye on? Dow, I know you have your show on Wednesday. Black, you have your show Monday through Thursday in the morning with David. Matt, when is your podcast coming back? Brooke,
That's the real question,
Yo,
Matt.
I've been
Dow
so
and I are going to do an AI space.
ooh, yes. And then Brooke and I are resuming our space on Wednesday next week.
Yes.
yeah,
Lots going on.
we're gonna get and
Me and
Christmas is
Jay.
coming up.
Me and
So
Jay.
as the end of the year winds down, guys, remember the holidays, remember the reason for giving while we're here. Right? love, prosperity, friends, family. Go outside, touch some grass, touch some ass.
I love that, Matt. Oh, I heard that ending.
Yeah, Tammy was like, oh, she was saying she was in the middle of saying I love that, and then she heard back, oh, she was like, ah, shit, he got me.
But yeah, Dow and Tammy, I'll turn it over to you guys. Any last comments before we wrap up?
I just want to say this is a great space. I learned a lot and I loved hearing about the AI. That was fascinating to me. So kind of getting a little bit more into that, but your spaces as always are amazing. So thanks to all the speakers, everybody who came up, even new people. I hope y'all have a great week. This was a great space.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
put up a chat GPT discussion, and it was basically like it was like XRP and Bitcoin questions. It's very funny because the Bitcoin answers were coming from a maximalist perspective from the chat GPT. So it's pinned to the top. Go ahead, Dal.
yeah. Now it's a great space. We're talking about a lot of different topics, man, from AI to spaces with AI. Elon Musk, as always, FTX, even some updates on technical things on Ethereum. So I hope everybody had a good time. Yeah, always a great time to be here. Even when we disagree, we learn a lot. So
Did
enjoy those
they
spaces.
did they address Elon Musk tweets about how they're gonna start including account status? Because somebody literally just DM'd me, damn man, I think you've been shadow banned. I think Elon Musk said he's gonna roll out an update where you can see your account status to see if you've been shadow banned, and they're gonna be an option to address the appeal of it.
Yep, we did touch on that. We also
Okay.
touched on the fact that he's going to release 1.5 billion usernames. So I won't say the ones that I'm looking out for in case you guys try to snipe them. But the last thing that shit, it just went past my mind what I was going to say. Well, I guess I'll just have to say thank you guys for coming. And yeah, shout out to Binance US. I'm super excited about the marketing. Matt, you might like this. You can trade Ethereum for free, and Bitcoin for free on Binance US. So fuck those Coinbase fees.
Yeah, you
Let's
can do it
get.
on Coinbase too.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Coinbase, it's my understanding they have free fees on USDT to USDC swaps.
Oh, why didn't we talk about that? Like, why does Coinbase want that much tether? I don't understand. And then somebody else is like, maybe they want to,
They want
slow
the
the
other. They don't
peg.
want Tether. They want what
They
do
want
you,
They
USDC.
want USDC. That's what they want, and
No,
they're being smart about it.
no, they're trading for customers can get their USDC. Am I not understanding this right? And so Coinbase will then get the USDT.
Oh,
So
you're
there's
right. You're
a
right.
more
They
of a
are
rush
swapping
of
it. Yeah.
USDT. And somebody in my dev chat was like,